the 9th of March, and this is episode 67 of the British Gaming Podcast.
Don't quit your day job.
I started too late. I am Carlos Lipscomb. Yeah, I nearly did my Let's Play intro. Carl Lipscomb, and today I'm joined by
Josh's Grundon.
Josh's Grundon, let's just go with it. That's how English works. Josh's Grundon, say hello, Josh's.
Oh, hello.
And Alex is back.
Hello.
That'd be much better if last names were like
What
a
you
title.
No, it
title.
What if your last name was like Black? You'd have to be like, Liam is Black. I'm actually Caucasian.
I'm actually Asian. Or Indian.
It just wouldn't work. Tony is green. Oh, well, I had the flu last week.
Alright, so
We lost with that, Dom.
You're looking at me like a pervy uncle at a wedding.
Where's all the filler?
yeah. Now I have to actually work. So we shall go into... What was that?
It spat in my eye.
I'm sorry about this. Maybe we should start again. Right, so we're going to the last week of our lives.
What, straight in?
You jumped straight into this.
We've got no fluffer before that,
There's
have
no
we?
fluffer. I don't know.
What about the sex stuff that you
We
talked
haven't got
about before we
sex
started?
stuff.
I don't have
I was trying to
any.
think of something in the car on the way over, but
Where's my phone?
Can you not
I might
search
have
someone?
some.
We can just jump cut it.
Maybe I might have some. I've put some stuff aside, but I haven't thought about it.
Well, seeing as there's only 3 of us, we should actually have some...
I think I did have something for last week, but I took it out because of Jenny.
Well, there you go. Look for that. Treating girls differently. Carl's a misogynist.
No equality here.
oh, pardon me.
We have the robot punch for the lads and the robot soft slap
The
for the girls.
robot tickle.
Because we can't... because fucking
Is that Dom's
sick.
version?
That's the robot slap and tickle.
Did you ever hide your porn in hidden folders when you were younger?
I never
I
downloaded
didn't actually
any.
know.
When I say porn, I mean like pictures of WWF divas.
That was, there we go, sex story, right? Sex itself. The first thing I ever came to.
Oh god.
Okay, yeah. So should we move on to the last week of our lives now? Then?
Well, seeing as you can... Yes. Because we didn't have any pre...
Just move on.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, do you want to start?
Sure. I did have this saved up and I can't remember. I bought today, like I told you before I even came here,
Yes.
I bought New and Tasty, which is a complete... I wish it was.
I'm glad it wasn't.
It's a remake.
Burger King's much better.
A remake of the original Abe's Odyssey.
Yes.
Did you ever play Abe's Odyssey?
I didn't. I've heard a lot about it though.
Which I only got to play half an hour in before I had to come here, but from what I've played so far, it's pretty fun. But as we were saying before, some people have made reviews about it saying that it hasn't got as much character as the originals, and you're never going to get as much character as the original if you've made it on a complete new engine. But for nostalgia's sake, I am finding it fun and enjoying it, and it is making me relive a lot of my childhood, even though I could play the original for a fraction of the cost on Steam as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it doesn't have as much character.
I'm not
as
saying that
traditional-
personally, I'm saying that's what a lot of reviewers
Yeah,
are saying.
no, it's not your personal opinion. But yeah, I played for a bit of it, and I wouldn't say that it doesn't. I would just say that, I don't know, maybe if you've played the original, then you're not going to see as much character because you're comparing it to the original one, and you're comparing it to the time frame you played it originally in and what other games were.
I think it's set in people's minds as well that the sequel's never ever going to be as good as.
Well, yeah.
the first.
Well, it's a case of as well is the original was amazing, and because it was such a gem in our most people's childhoods or sort of teenage lives of gaming, playing that game, and it was so amazing that, like Carl said, you are just going to constantly compare it and go, no. If it has one thing off, then it's shat all over my nostalgia, and I don't want that. Which I think is a very blinkered view of it.
Yeah, you're going to have a misrepresentation in your mind. Like the amount of people that are like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy VII looks so fucking good. and you look at it and it's just like, no, that's a guy who has a tube as a body and 4 squares in his arm.
San Andreas on Steam about 2 weeks ago, thinking, oh man, I'm really going to enjoy playing this again. Played it for probably about 10
One
minutes.
sec, do you keep unplugging your microphone? Is the cable messed up? Do you keep turning it off now?
I think so.
No?
Maybe. I am twirling it around in my hand quite a bit.
Yeah, but it'd be surprising if
Did you
it
only
might
play
be
it
the
for-
cable. We'll
Did you
give it a
only play it
minute.
for 10
and
minutes is because you felt like it was not unplayable, but the controls
Well, I was playing it with the Xbox One controller, and everything was the same as I originally.
You generally turn it off now? No? Okay, well, one sec, I'll switch your cable over.
Apart from that, I borrowed. I'm digitally sharing Liz's copy of Fahrenheit remaster.
It's illegal.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Not in the same house.
It's not illegal. Steam haven't contacted the world's governments and
Oh my god, it's actually illegal.
The world.
the world's different governments across the world.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Different governments across the universe.
It'd be the worst government if the guys from Guardians of the Galaxy were it. It'd be madness.
So yeah, I've been playing
Madness!
fucking hell. The Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy, depending on what side of the planet you're on, remaster, which was just as fun as I remember playing it back
only
in...
if you're in America, everywhere else it was Fahrenheit.
Do they not call it that because of the...
Because
because of the documentary about 9/11?
Fahrenheit 9/11, wasn't that film?
Yeah.
With
Michael
Daniel
Moore.
Radcliffe.
no, who's
What?
who's the cowboy?
Who's the cowboy?
The guy from Tombstone.
What? Clint Eastwood.
Looks like Russell Crowe, but isn't.
Ruffle Crow. I don't know.
You guys just carry on with your little thing.
Wasn't that the film about the cowboy? No, it's about the World Trade Center.
But it's the same guy, man.
Michael Moore.
I don't know.
Michael McIntyre.
Michael Bay.
I've got someone who works with me called Michael McIntyre. He's a white person with dreadlocks. It's really strange.
Okay, so
But yeah, I've been playing the...
I don't know why they don't call it Fahrenheit. I think it's because Celsius.
Oh yeah, wait.
They deal with everything in Fahrenheit, though, don't
Yeah,
they?
they
Yeah,
don't
but-
do the metric system.
Yeah,
they
but
got
they're
rid of
like
it,
it's
didn't
confusing to have this game be on our degrees.
You just fine.
they? I was shooing away the Fahrenheit.
That's how Americans treat the metric system. Shoo, metric system. Don't you think it's weird how English people we pretend like we're so much better? Like, oh yeah, we use the metric system. Fuck, do we use the metric system? We occasionally use it. We still measure. We're the most bizarre country. It's like, yeah, we're metric, but we deal in feet and inches and pound. Well,
Yeah, but in like
pounds.
2020.
And when it's food, we deal in grams. If it's a human, it's a stone. It's like all fucked up. Like,
No,
what-
humans, they still deal in...
kilos.
stone.
Yeah, kilos, which I deal in stone.
Old people do it in stone.
No, most
prefer to do it in
things
stone.
are stone. If it's medical, then it's like a lot of times it's kilo. Why are we laughing? I don't know.
I don't know, like
What's going
I
on?
said, I go to the
But
gym and
everything's
jiu-jitsu and
fucked
everyone
up.
will say like, how much do you weigh? And I'll be like, oh, just under 13 stone. And they'll be like, how much is that?
I've never heard
How
an
much is
English
that?
person
£5?
ask how much.
No, honestly.
I'm not even joking here. Like,
No, yeah, I'm just saying.
And I think 13 stone is around like 85 kilo or something.
Maybe in like a gym aspect, then I don't know, but maybe because it's more precise.
Maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, I've never heard an English person say what.
Well,
is
I reckon
that?
in about 10 years' time, when the older generation will die out, then we'll be using metric properly.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer
Would you
to
like
be on
me
one
to
system.
make it metric? So I've been playing the Celsius remaster.
I'm still looking for this.
But the thing is, I don't understand fucking half the metric system. I still work in. I do centimeters, but I do stone. I don't know what I weigh in kilos.
No, I don't know what I weigh in kilos, but I don't care that much to go and find out either.
No, I don't know what I weigh in stone.
I
really,
weigh an
but-
amount.
Yeah,
It doesn't bother me, my weight.
I'm not cracking the earth, so that's
Exactly.
good enough.
The room doesn't shake when I walk, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's the same when people say, how high are you? It's like,
Oh hi.
let me put down this joint and I'll get down the meter stick. How tall are you? Sorry.
I also
I
imagine
never
just
get the
you're
one.
floating above ground.
How high are you? I don't know, good few meters. I don't know, I'm checking my watch. Like, I've got...
It's
Never
a
mind.
smartwatch.
Never mind. Yeah, and apart from that...
At miles, we don't have fucking kilometers per hour, do we? We have
I
miles
told
per
you
hour.
my week gets talked over.
Miles.
Miles
see?
is better than
Miles
kilometers.
Morales.
Miles Morales.
Yeah, from Spider-Man.
I thought he was talking about Noah.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty much been my week. I'm trying to think. I was playing something else, but I can't think what it was. Been dipping in and out of Stranded. Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Of course.
Yes. I wanted to speak about this bit. Have you heard about the hat?
Which hat?
The hat. The hat. It's not actually part of the game. It's what the creator put on his website.
Oh, what? The
picture of the hat.
The images, yeah.
Yeah, the hat.
Yeah.
It's just a hat. You know, he hides a lot of code in his
Yes.
images.
Yeah.
There's nothing hidden in this picture of a hat. The name of it is just a hat, and there's no hidden message at all. And people are thinking it's him saying that he's stopping doing Five Nights at Freddy's.
I thought it was confirmed that he stopped.
I
doing Five Nights at Freddy's.
thought that 3 was kind of like the logical closure point, and the story kind
That's
of
what
is a
everyone. That's
logical
what
closure
lots of
point.
people have been saying, and I thought he kind of wrapped it up in number 3 anyway. So unless he does a retrograde of the original first Fazbear Family Diner, which would be a great thing to see, but if he didn't do it, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
No, I think I think he should stop doing it. But there is more for him, because at the end of the game, there's a little newspaper article that says like the place you're in's burnt down.
Burnt down, yeah, I know.
But it says that they're auctioning off some of the stuff, so therefore there is a possibility that you could have stuff set in other places.
Yeah, but if you actually know the true ending of the game, spoiler alert, everyone.
Not the good ending.
The good ending
I
is
thought
that
that
all
was
the
the good
children have been set free. Their spirits have been released, and therefore that they're not inhabiting the costumes anymore, so they're dead.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the good ending. I didn't realise.
That is the good ending, but
no, I thought the newspaper was the good ending. I didn't realise. I knew there was good and bad endings, but I didn't know what
the good ending is that you set all their souls free. The bad ending is that you haven't. The same results happen at the end of it, but the souls of the kids are still stuck in the outfits. Also, another
Depends
spoiler.
which one's
do
canon.
you actually know the end of the story?
No, I kind of seen bits at the end. I know like the end.
These are still spoilers.
I know the like end mini game thing where
So you know
he,
that the killer was in the suit, yeah?
Yeah, he burnt and he like sets. No, I can't remember what happens at the end of the mini game, but the killer gets in the suit. Yeah,
he's wearing a spring trap suit, which
Yeah.
there were 2 of them made, in which it had all the animatronic parts in, but you could use a crank to sort of make them recede in.
But doesn't he
and you
like
could
gets
wear it,
like killed
but
by it?
the release valve is very temperamental, and like one wrong move and this thing, all the metal parts will shunt back into place.
Yeah,
so you
and
put
that,
on
like,
this
killed him,
outfit, it malfunctioned, and it just basically
Yeah. Do you know
peppered him.
anything about Five Nights at Freddy's? No, didn't think so.
So, but that's what was the spring trap. The spring trap from the third one, the only animatronic, was
the
one of
killer,
the original costumes from the Fazbear Diner that they didn't use anymore, and had the killer's body inside.
Yeah.
So it was.
I thought that was kind of obvious throughout the game anyway,
I didn't
because
think
there
about
was a
it.
person in there.
Well, that one
You
there
could
was.
see there was a person in there,
That
and
one,
I
not
thought
the
it was
rest.
kind of like,
But that
that's-
animatronic has only been around. Was only introduced for the third one.
Yeah. But I'm saying in the third one, you could see there was a person in there, and I thought it was like, well, it's
If you look
probably
at
going to
the
be the
outfit,
killer.
it's an
then.
amalgamation of organs and.
Yeah.
But it looks like the organs are fused into the animatronic. Because
Yeah.
obviously the idea is that it's haunted and therefore possessed and whatever. But again, if there wasn't a fourth one, then that's fine. But I think he could do a fourth one back at the original site, and then there's from the the closest theory I think is there's another site after it that came before the one in the second one. So there's 4 in total, not including the latest one, which wasn't a restaurant.
Yeah, I feel you could do it in a. He could just put away this style of gameplay with the cameras and everything, and try something else.
He could, but
Like,
I quite like
universe.
the camera, because the
Yeah,
third
but I
game was
feel
complete. I feel like the third game was completely different to the other 2, even though it was still
fairly.
using.
It was fairly different, but I feel like he has the opportunity to carry on the universe, but in a different
He does.
game style, and do it more. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't realise that in that same newspaper article that says that it's burning down, there was loads of stuff hidden in the blurred text, and it's basically a message from him to the player, to the fans, and it's he says like his whole history kind of thing with the game, and he says how before he made Five Nights at Freddy's, he was making other games.
Oh, I know. He made games in which people said they look like animatronics.
Yeah, there was a lot of robotics and stuff, and he said, I've always made stuff about robotics, and I don't know why. And then now this one's finally caught on. And he was like, I made this one, and I was like, I don't want to make like a robot. And then I made animatronics, which is pretty much the same thing. And he said that all his other games had kind of failed, and he was about to stop being a game developer.
Yeah.
And just go and find
the
a normal
reason he
job.
went into animatronics, Scott Cawthorne, is because the animation for some of his old games, a lot of people commented saying it was jerky, clunky, and looked like animatronics from a Chuck E. Cheese place.
Yeah.
Because they only had like 2 frames, or they'd be like.
Yeah.
So people said it looks like a load of animatronics. So he thought, well, if that's what my animation looks like, why not use that as the medium to make something? Yeah. Which was a brilliant idea.
The cool thing is the crazy person who's now made an animatronic Freddy.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I don't know why you do that. To me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you do that.
It looks amazing.
So they've just made an animatronic. It's basically a horror game, which is based around animatronics, and you're a security guard looking at CCTV footage. You've got to stay in your room, in your CCTV room, and you've just got to... Basically, your job is that it's your standard security guard, like making sure nothing goes wrong over the night, no one breaks in or something like that. But the animatronics are haunted, and they come and kill you.
This makes life difficult.
Yeah. So you're the security guard just trying to make sure things are okay, and the animatronics is basically trying to kill you. Over the course of the 3 games that he's released in only a few months, like there's different things. So the first one is you can look at the cameras and shut the doors, but shutting the electric doors uses power,
and you only have a certain amount of power.
You have to keep eyes on the cameras to see where the animatronics are going.
It's a sort of strategy.
Yeah, you see where they're going, and then you shut the doors when they come to the doors, and then they walk off, and you can open them again. So that's the basic premise of all the games, but it's different mechanics they've used. They don't have the doors and power in the other ones.
They have, they do in the second one, but they don't have the doors. You have like a torch instead, which fucks with some of their facial recognition, so they sort of reset.
Yeah.
And then the last one it's more about dealing with the hardware around you, so things can go wrong. So your cameras can go offline, or this can go offline, and you have to reset them and use those like noisemakers to distract them. So it's kept fresh each time, personally, and I've really enjoyed it.
But some fucking maniac has decided, I'm going to take Freddy Fazbear, which is the main one, some terrifying animatronic, and make a real fucking animatronic to be in my house that moves and stuff. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why?
It looks amazing.
It does. It looks really cool, but why? Why would you do that?
Personally, I imagine the voice to be different, but hey,
yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know why you'd want that in your house, though.
Well, only if you're scared of automatons and like mannequins.
Oh, is not everyone?
No. There's a certain level of uncanny valley, isn't there? You sort of think, it's human shaped, but it's not actually human. But I'm not shit scared of mannequins. Different story if we're playing Condemned 1.
What if they had hooks on their hands?
Well, I'd be a bit disturbed.
If they had a hook for a face.
It's one unlucky pirate then, isn't it, really? What about your week, Alex? My week's dragged. You were going to leave, weren't you? You're like, I'm going to go.
I haven't really done the thing this week. I've got nothing interesting to talk about. I've been playing Destiny, as always.
Yeah.
Same old.
There was some more patch stuff that I heard about Destiny. That so there's something wrong with the companion app that's stealing your loot.
No, that's all rubbish. Basically, people they've just added this new thing to the app so that you can transfer items across from characters and from the vault. So it kind of takes away time for going to the tower to switching items. But people are trying. It's all on the forums at the minute that people are just making up this stuff to try and get Bungie to be like, oh, okay, we'll reimburse you this item that you've lost.
But they haven't done that before with anything. So what are they doing?
No. But Bungie are refusing it anyway. But it does seem to all be lies. Like no one's lost anything.
Oh, okay.
I use that app constantly now that I've got it, and it's perfect, instant.
Yeah, because there's that poor kid that had his account deleted.
Yes, I watched that video. It was horrible.
There was an 11-year-old kid who was streaming Destiny, and there was a guy that he'd been playing with. I've heard the full story, and I'm not sure if
a friend of a friend.
Yeah, it was. So there's this 11-year-old kid who was playing with this other guy he'd been playing with for a while, and then this guy said that he had a glitch that he could boost him up to the max level. So he shared it was on PlayStation, so you could share your account over. So he shared his account over with the guy to boost him up, and he just deleted all his characters. deleted
this
all
guy
his
was
stuff.
literally streaming it at the time, and he told the kid, he was like, "Oh, go and just check something," so he could walk away from the screen and not see what he was doing. Then exited to main menu, deleted 2 of his characters, went into game on his last character, and started deleting exotics, and that's when the kid caught on. So he turned his console off straight away, thinking that all he'd lost was 1 exotic, which is bad enough anyway. Joined this guy back in a party, kind of really brave of him for an 11-year-old kid. Joined the party and was like, "Oh, I didn't want that anyway, thanks for deleting it," and then just left and blocked this guy. Loaded up Destiny to see that he'd lost 2 characters as well.
Apparently you could hear him like crying on the stream.
He was weeping. It was really horrible.
You can say like, "Oh, it's just a character," but it's an 11-year-old kid. Like
you're also talking to get a character that height. You're talking hundreds of hours of game time. It is a lot of work that he would have lost.
But and then it gets even deeper with the fact that apparently the guy that he was playing with, it wasn't him on the account, because this guy's now got loads of shit tons of hate. Obviously, of course, it's the internet. What the story is, which it sucks if it's fucking true, but I don't believe if it I don't know if it is. I'm not gonna condemn or anything, but apparently the guy was in a car accident, and so he's been recovering at home, and he hasn't really been playing PlayStation that much. He's had loads of people come over, like in support, come around his house, playing his PlayStation stuff.
That sounds like a bullshit sob story.
Basically, it
gets even worse though. Like apparently this all happened, and this was over months, and this was way before any of this happened. And then he rehabilitated from the car accident. Was like, right, I need to get back to work and earn all the money back that I've lost, like over these few months of being in it. Got in a second car accident, and then during that time he's been back at home rehabilitating again, and then someone's gone in his account while he's apparently asleep from the drugs that he's on, and done this. So if that's true, it just sucks mainly for the guy being in 2 fucking car accidents and being really fucked up, and then someone taking advantage of him.
Does this come from his mouth?
It's come from his mother's.
The way I see it is that he's been caught out. He's got a hell of a lot of hate now, and he's thinking, "How can I
your
get out of this
microphone's
and
cut
get
off again.
sympathy?"
Yeah.
I think it's maybe because I'm holding it from the bottom.
No, maybe it doesn't.
That sounds like a desperate attempt to get out of something. I mean, I don't know I don't know the story or anyone involved, but if you do and all of a sudden that comes out, it's like, fuck off.
Basically, the story went viral, and he thought, "Man, everyone knows," because his gamer tag was available to everyone, so people would have been adding him and sending him horrible hate mail and all sorts, which he deserved for doing what he did. If it was him,
there was people saying like, "I hope you die of cancer," and apparently his little sister just died of cancer. And so
sorry, I'm
it's
not
like,
laughing at that. This story sounds.
It just gets more out of hand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying if it's true, then I really fucking feel sorry for this guy because it's really bad.
If that's
but
true,
if it's not,
sorry, but
then
that sounds so
cunt.
I was in 2 car accidents and this happened. Either you're the most
and my
unluckiest
sister died
wanker
of cancer,
and someone did this on my account.
Like,
you're either the unluckiest fucker on the planet, or you're the worst liar ever.
Yeah.
Get back to the real victim, who his mum spoke out to Bungie to try and get them to reimburse him for his weapons. They said, obviously, we're sticking to what we said at the beginning, that we'd never do anything like that. And they said, unfortunately, that because obviously they want to stick to their rules, that because obviously PlayStation Share comes with its own contract. If you share it, it's your own fault if anything happens.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But they did contact this boy, and they have been using PlayStation Share to Bungie people to help level up his characters.
Cool. That's cool at least.
So they're not breaking their contract, but they're reimbursing him by helping.
They're doing some form of something. That's cool. I didn't know about that part. Yeah. So I was like, it's fair enough that they don't want to just give shit, but it's obviously it's a documented thing. It's not like it's like someone claiming this happened. It's on. You could see the video of it happening. So, but that's cool.
I just can't believe that all went on while he was streaming it. I felt so awful. Yeah.
What, the little kid was streaming?
Yeah, he was broadcasting at the time while it was all going on.
Yeah. So that's what you can hear.
You'll never trust someone again like that. Yeah,
so that happens, and then you can hear him crying over it because
I'd never trust anyone with my details like that, unless it's like a close friend for Steam sharing and stuff. But
yeah, but also he's a little kid, so he's not gonna know that kind of life's a lesson, is he?
Well, I know he's going to learn it now. He's just going to have to learn it the hard way, which most lessons like that are learnt. It's a shame though. So that's what's new in the world of Destiny.
Yeah, that's not even new. That was weeks ago.
Yeah, really? I'll have to search that up at some point and have a look.
Yeah, I found that out a few weeks ago, but I haven't really spoken about it. I did want to bring it up last week, actually. It's when I kind of like really learned about it. But yeah, man, it's fucked up. People are dicks, and
but the thing that I don't get is, it's like, what kind of joy do you get out of doing something like that? Because
What
it lasts
joy is
about
it?
about 5 seconds to delete someone's characters, and you're never going to
like,
speak to him or see him again. And
Yeah.
so what do you get out of it? Nothing,
Yeah.
apart from ruining someone's
yeah.
game.
And if you weren't, if it wasn't actually the guy and it was someone else, then you're even bigger of a cunt. Like, you just fucked your friend over, and you fucked over this little kid. Like,
There's one way to find out. I take it this guy that
apparently he doesn't even know the guy's account who it is. If it's true, he doesn't even know who it was. Apparently, he doesn't even know who was
But
at
they
the
were
house
they were
at the time,
speaking on
'cause he's-
voice chat, obviously, or were they messaging?
Yeah, no, they were speaking on voice chat,
So
but
is
he
that the
you
two
couldn't
voices
hear him
together?
through the video because he was broadcasting. So I think what he had
Yeah,
coming out the
it doesn't-
TV was game sounds, and then his headset
Oh,
was.
right, okay.
Yeah, that's how
The guy
like
talking.
as
Yeah,
we
yeah,
know,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how it worked. But yeah, that is one thing, because I haven't looked at the original video. That was one thing I was thinking, like, if it wasn't the same guy, then surely he would realise
Recognise
it's a
the
different voice.
yeah.
Unless it's like this one guy that was going around his house.
He's been playing
a
him for
long
months,
game,
yeah.
like,
All going on.
I'll play nice
I'll
for
tell you,
like the first couple of weeks,
if
then
you
I'm
compare
gonna
the-
fuck him over.
If
Yeah.
you compare the voices, a new story will come out. It's like, yeah, I also, in my last car crash, I had a voice box transplant.
yeah, my friend transplanted a voice box with me. Like, we swapped voice boxes.
For a week, for a laugh.
Yeah.
So that wasn't actually my voice. That was my voice, but in a different guy's body. That sounds like a load of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to say whether or not, but it sounds like it.
Why
It'd
is,
be-
why is someone around someone else's house playing on their account anyway?
Apparently, it was
If I
happening
go
all the
around
time.
a mate's house to play on their console, then I want to import my own account, unless I don't have an account.
Well,
for
not
that
if you're
console.
deleting someone else's characters.
No, not. But obviously, that means that someone's set round to do that, as in premeditated to do that.
I think we've
And no-
stayed on this subject too long.
Yeah, sorry.
yeah. Either way, it was premeditated anyway. I'm sure.
Not a very nice thing to do.
No.
End it there.
No, yeah. So what have I been doing? I have played. I don't know if I mentioned it last week. I played Only If. I think I did.
Yeah, I saw you doing some Let's Plays for it.
Yeah, Only If. Really surreal puzzle game. Really interesting. Fucking painful as shit to play. Just because it doesn't tell you stuff, and you can watch my Let's Play, and I nearly go insane. Just because it said I was at one point in the game. It's a lot of reality bending stuff, and you lose your voice. And the guy and the antagonist in it has stolen your voice, and you've basically got to look through these bins to find your voice. So you go through each. Yeah, it's really weird. He says you're talk. It basically it's like you're talking trash, so your voice is going to be in the trash, and he takes your voice, and so you look through all these bins. Each time you check a bin, it disappears. So
Is there a switch inside the bin, and then you have to fight Raichu? Is that what happens?
No, you look in each bin, and then once you look in it, it disappears. So you don't look in the same one again. And I looked through all of it. I went around the whole map, and I was like, right, okay, that's all of them. And then I went back to this fountain that I'd made appear because it says, look at the blue flowers in the middle of red flowers, which took me fucking ages because I was like, there's blue flowers with red flowers there. Why is that not it? And then I found there was a circle with a ring of red flowers with blue flower in the middle. I was like, well, that was not obvious. You said the blue flowers with the red flowers surrounding it. There was that everywhere. And I eventually found that, and the giant fountain appears out of it for no reason. And around that fountain, there was notes saying, follow the path under the sun to find the last bit. So I was like, all right, follow the path under the sun. So I was like, all right, it's a really lit place from the sun. So I'll follow the path that's not shadowed by trees. So I tried to do that, and then every path has trees over it somehow. So I was like looking for about half an hour, and I'm just like slowly going insane as I'm trying to find this. And I keep repeating to myself, follow the path under the sun. It must be around here somewhere. And then eventually I just like started walking around the edge of the thing, just getting really pissed off, and I found this bin against a wall, completely in shade, nothing on it at all. And I found it in its last bit, and it opened up this little maze beyond it. So I was like, right, I went into the maze, and I turned around, and I saw a little post-it note hanging from a tree that had a picture of a sun. So that was the path under the sun. So that just fucking threw me over the edge, and I started shouting, and I lost my voice nearly from like getting really angry at this fucking thing.
Well, that's what you get when you play a puzzle game,
Yeah.
Carl.
And then I carried on, and it's all really strange and cool. I really like the game. It's just that bit kind of pushed me a bit.
Well, you should have taken the hint from the flowers if it was going to be that picky about that.
Yeah. I should.
Free to play game.
Yeah, it's completely
Free to gay game.
Yeah, it was a free game. It's not like freemium or anything. There's no like microtransactions. I mean, it's a puzzle game. What you're going to buy like the answer. Yeah, it's just forever free. I think it's just a guy like he's an indie developer on his own, and I think he's just kind of put it free because he's making other games. So it's kind of get you interested in his games.
That's a good marketing technique.
Yeah, and it's a good game. It's not a bad game. It looks really good as well. So it's all fun. The voice acting, there was voice acting, which isn't in a lot of indie games. The voice acting was that like line between terrible and amazing. Like when you get so bad that it's good.
So Resident Evil 1 voice acting.
Yeah, no, not like that. It's not like really disjointed, but it's just like you go to a party and then you wake up in a bed and you're like, and it's like, who yawns that weirdly and loudly? And he's like, so where is everybody? And it's just like really weird but kind of funny and good. It's like actually really clear voice acting.
Sounds like you're questioning yourself.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's actually quite good.
It was like
I might regret this going on the broadcast.
The recording and everything was really, really clear. It was a really good recording. It wasn't like some like you see like those Amnesia custom stories, and it's like a guy talking into his laptop mic. It's like,
I find that in Amnesia mods, it's not so much the voice acting that sucks; it's the spelling. But then again, it's because a lot of people whose first language is in English make them, and that's not discrediting any of them because some of these maps are amazing. But
yes, it is.
You
People
will,
from other
you will see
countries suck.
speech sort of like I don't know, just using the wrong tense or the complete wrong spelling because they've just gone for the phonetic. Look underneath the garden nom. I think that's meant to be gnome.
But yeah, it was really good game. The antagonist guy is hilarious, and the ending to the game is fucking weird. It's so I don't want to ruin it for anyone that plays it, but it's just like. You end the game, you end the game, and then
Spoilers.
It goes into the credits, and then there's like no wrap up to it at that point. It goes to the credits, and then it cuts out the credits like every 2 seconds, and it fills in the end of the story. Why this has all happened and everything, and I'll tell you quickly. Basically,
no, I want to play this.
Do you actually want to play
it?
I'll
play this.
Okay. If you want to play it, I won't tell you. But it's hilarious. I was just laughing my ass off the entire time that like they do this whole end sequence. Like not because it's bad, because it's generally like funny and just strange, and it really makes sense of the entire game.
Okay.
Which was fucked up. But yeah, it's quite short. It's only about an hour long gameplay of it, and it kind of ends on the worst level. Like the last level is like kind of like a jump puzzle kind of thing. You've got to jump over these platforms, but there's these vases everywhere, and you've got to shoot a vase with a revolver, and then you get like this weird drug out of it. Like there's some like glowing stuff, and you walk into it, and you go, and the screen goes all like out of focus, and you go whoa, like some real weird thing, and you keep doing that for a while, and you realise it's making you lighter each time,
right.
So you can jump a further distance. And you have to actually. I spent ages because I was like, right, so I clearly have to jump onto that bit, and I kept trying to jump it, and I couldn't do it. And it's because you have to go. You get to a high point, and then you actually have to go down and around and collect more of these things, and then go back up, and then you can jump that jump, which I didn't realise for fucking ages. And then that's the last level, and then it goes into all this cutscene stuff, which was cool. But it's like I wish there was an extra level which kind of made up for that, because it wasn't.
Did it end too abruptly?
It just didn't end on a good level. Like,
right.
The Path Under the Sun stuff, I would have preferred more to be the last level. However, or the level after that between those two.
No matter how much you hated it.
Yeah, like I would have just preferred. Like that was more fun. It was better than this annoying jump
puzzle. I can't wait till you do your
puzzle.
Resident Evil remake
I
Let's
need to do
Play,
that soon.
because you're going to not even get past the first episode of that.
No, I'm going to do the entire thing.
He hates the fixed camera angle thing.
I can't deal with it.
No, I'm with you on that, man.
We were playing the remake a few weeks ago. We were having like me, Josh, and Liz were having like a drunk game night, and they were like, "Oh, let's play this." So I was like, "Oh, I'd never really played it originally, so I'll play it." And I got an anger headache from it, just because I was like...
So we waited until he was out and we played it the next time.
It wasn't necessarily...
We've got really far in that. We need to finish that at some point.
The camera angles are bad, but it's not so much that. It was also the aiming that it was like, right, so it's a zombie, so I need to aim in the head, so I can either... So you get 3 aim points there, centre, or up here. And it's like, well, I can't hit the fucking head. Like, there's no headshot in that range. Like, unless I'm trying to shoot as I'm aiming upwards. I don't understand.
The upwards one tends to be for when they literally are at your face.
It's like when you're trying to use VATS on Fallout and it's just skipping over the head.
Yeah. It's like, don't
I always find that with the insects on
yeah,
Fallout.
that's what I was going to say. It's worse with the insects.
Jesus Christ. Humanoid, I can do sort of like arm, torso, arm, head. With the insects, like I really want to hit the antenna, and it's
like wing, body, head, back leg. Like fucking what? You end up there.
The thing that's here. Oh, just to backtrack. Interestingly enough, you like Fallout. Do you ever play the original Fallouts?
A little bit.
On my shared games is a game called Under Rail, which is an indie game. It's only going for about £6 something, which is in the style of the original Fallout games, and it's still early access, but I played half an hour of it this morning, because I bought it this morning, and it's really quite good. It adds a lot more of the crafting and RPG elements into that sort of style of things. But it is very good. The setting's sort of like post-apocalyptic world, and a lot of humanity lives in the subway. So very similar to Metro 2033.
Yeah.
In that respect, but I think you'd really enjoy it for the whole Fallout style of things, because it is that old style, isometric almost game style.
Yeah.
RPG. Anyway, I just want to put that in there.
Another interesting thing along that same line is Wasteland, which was the original Fallout.
Yeah.
Which came before Fallout 1. A few years ago there was a Kickstarter for Wasteland 2, and that has come out by some of the original guys that made Wasteland and Fallout 1. Wasteland 2 is now coming to Xbox One.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so people can play what was the original kind of Fallout thing. I don't know how the fuck it's going to work.
Was Wasteland 2 the game they advertised ages ago that was going to be a full game, and then it got pushed back to be an arcade game? And
no, Wasteland is like kind of... It's an indie kind of game, top down, point and click kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're
That's
thinking.
the thing, on console though, indie does tend to get kicked over to arcade. Not all the time.
Arcade doesn't exist anymore.
no, I'm thinking of something completely different. It wasn't top down, so.
Oh no, that's true. Arcade isn't on the one.
They purposely got rid of it because it distinguished between them. But
it was full of COD or Minecraft or zombie survival.
Yeah,
clones.
I wouldn't mind if they were just like, these are indie games and these aren't, like, because then you can purposely go and look for them. But now there's no system of purposely looking for an indie game.
You have to buy AAA big name developer.
Yeah, because they've obviously got an idea Xbox, which I only realised is indie developer at Xbox, which is still a shit name, whatever. I was like, what the fuck is ID? I was like, indie? Like, are you pronouncing the D from indie? But yeah, they could at least put up fucking like an ID at Xbox part of the store, not separate it out. It could still be in the same stuff. It's just like, if you want indie stuff, then here's an easy path to get to the indie stuff. You don't have to
some
completely
indie games that I played
separate it.
more than like games I'd spent 50, 60
But the thing
quid
is,
on.
fucking Minecraft's an indie game, or was. Now it's not. It's owned by Microsoft. But yeah. So,
Did you play it? Did you get IDAR?
No, I keep seeing it advertised because it's still free at the minute, isn't it?
Get it?
Yeah. We've done it. Well,
I thought you guys had been so far into that you probably wouldn't be playing it anymore.
No,
it's not that type of game.
We found out that you have to be playing local play to play all on one team.
Oh right. Okay.
You can't join it like one team from your own
Do
respective.
you know what it is at all?
Yeah, you explained it last time.
Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? Yeah.
But
it's not something that you like. You don't like kind of. It's not the kind of type of game that you power through in one go.
It's like a sport game in this fact that you'll go back for a different experience each time.
Yeah, you kind of sporadically play it rather than. I mean, there are obviously the nutters that just like knuckle down and play it for hours and hours. But I don't know how you can play it without just your brain bleeding everywhere. Just like
we were having talks about having like after certain podcasts or like sort of in the evening is if you bring your Xbox One controller around, we all have like an evening of playing it because you have to play it on one console.
Right. Okay.
To be on the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but like after we do a podcast or something, we can all just have a few rounds of that. Cause it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, like online play, you can only do 1v1. But I mean, you can do online play with like 4 people on one Xbox.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Against another 4 people on another Xbox. But yeah, otherwise it's just me and Josh were trying to do it. It's just 1v1.
I haven't played with someone on the same console for such a long time.
Yeah.
since back in Halo days, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of indie games aiming for that, like couch co-op as people
go back
now.
to split screen.
Yeah, like it's not so much with the big games. I think even like COD stopped doing it now. I think AW doesn't have a. I think it doesn't have because COD and Halo were like the last two holdouts of like big multiplayer games that allowed for split screen.
It's a shame really because
gaming.
split screen was a way that you did sort of socialise with your mates 1-to-1. It's like, do you want to come round? We'll play this together. Rather than sort of like, do you want to stay at your house and I'll stay at my house and we can talk to each other over a headset.
Cole's your dad's house was like the gaming.
Oh yeah.
There, wasn't it? I mean,
Think-
used to just come around.
I don't know. Hold that to your face.
Unlucky yellow.
Yeah, one sec. Maybe it's. Switch your microphone over. We're taking a break actually. We won't get to the film. That's cool. We've got work in the morning. We do need.
We haven't got a lot of supplements in this one, have we?
No. I've got some stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah, of course, afterwards.
But,
I mean, no
but
interest.
yeah, there's not like a lot.
Nothing interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
I want to find this Destiny thing that you were talking about because I can't stand
Oh, I linked it to my friend.
Eurogamer.
Sucky.
You not got the Wi-Fi?
No.
You just went down for a quickie then.
What are these noises? This video is private.
Yeah, I just found the same article. So why would you make it private?
I watched it the other day.
There we go.
Maybe it's because there's distress.
There you go, I think I found it.
I think the first 5 minutes is podcast. Alright, yes, cut that video. So this is the other guy controlling this.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
Are you still getting heartburn flare-ups? Time for a new routine. Try Nexium 24-hour, the latest choice for frequent heartburn.
What?
Complete protection. Nexium level protection.
It's just a random ad. What's going on?
Thank you. I didn't really want that weapon. Just didn't have that fancy. Didn't really want that weapon anyways too, so thank you. I didn't have the confidence to just make all that stuff. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
That's alright. Can just a second. So I'm just looking something up.
So he's crying. All he thinks he's lost is one exotic at the minute. Is this mic working now?
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking asshole.
Disgusting.
Tis. Oh, ready to go.
It's gonna. It's like a hedgehog. It's a soft hedgehog. So strange to see with short hair.
Feels liberating.
It's like that, you know, when you stopped wearing the Spider-Man costume. It's so strange to see with normal clothes.
See all the stupid stoners whenever they see me like, hey, Spider-Man.
Really?
Fuck off.
I still get crumb bum from them because that's
Apparently, do you remember Tony?
vaguely.
I don't really know her that much, but anyway, she saw Poppers the other day, and he walked up to her and was like, "Oh, hey, Teabag," and she was like, "Nobody calls me that anymore." And he was like, "Oh, right, sorry, I didn't know your real name, so I just called you Teabag." And she's like, "Oh, no, it's fine." She was like, "Why, do people still call you Poppers then?" He's like, "I can't fucking get rid of the name." He's like, "Everyone calls me Poppers."
I only call him out of like habit, but I try and call him Luke more, but I'm half the time like Pops over here.
So everyone's grown out of their nicknames apart from Poppers.
His gamer tag is Pops.
This is true, yeah. Pops numbers. 8?
8, yeah. I've been thinking about changing my gamer tag, but I don't want to because I don't want to upset everyone.
What do you want to change it to?
I was going to change it to be with the brand stuff, to be Cars Awesome.
Can you just do RP? Number
You've got
7.
the tattoo though, haven't you?
RP? Oh, right.
You've got the tattoo.
Yeah.
You're always going to be number 7 then.
Yeah.
So why does
Yeah, I'm more dedicated than most.
Yeah.
Well, Joe's got a tattoo.
Didn't. Yeah, true.
And Jack T's got a tattoo.
Jack T's got one.
Ben was
And
going to
Noah.
get... Oh yeah, but Noah's got his, and
Yeah.
Ben was going to get 2 bears fighting, and their claws were going to make the 8. That was his tattoo
about that.
idea.
I thought he was going to say he's going to get 2 bears fighting. If he gets a pineapple, it'll be the flag for Belarus.
He was going to get 2 bears, but they were just going to be large gay men.
They weren't fighting.
They were going to be spooning in the shape of an
Yeah.
8.
You might call it fighting, but that weren't fighting. Alright, ready.
You
I'm going to get my number 5 right on my back, just above my bum.
I think it's right on your bum.
You're going to get a tramp stamp, are you? What's that? I'm just
Have
number
it on
5.
your bum.
I'm
but
number 5.
the hook of the 5 going around your
Like
arsehole.
cradling your cheek. Cupping a cheek just off to one side.
Yes. One sec.
Sorry, that was the line, apparently. Your arse was the line.
Have you seen that we've got an ML number 9 as well? Obviously you have.
Yeah.
Still a sigh.
Fucking bastard. Dom's so pissed off at that as well, because Dom was like, I was there at the time. Like,
Who's number 9 then?
There's no number 9.
Matt Lomax just changed his gamer tag without asking anyone to ML number 9.
Yeah, and really, if anyone should be number 9, it should have been Dom. So he was like around.
Well, actually,
like,
we've got 2 number 8s.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, but
So there's already a queue.
that's because it's a 9 pieces of 8 day. He should have changed it to ML number 8. That would have been even funnier. It's like there's no higher point than 8, so just like hundreds of people
Loads
named
of
8.
Just waiting to slide in there as soon as someone leaves.
Yeah. Oh, I should change the thing back so we can see ourselves.
Yeah, I like to look at myself.
That's the only reason we have it. It's not so we post it to YouTube or anything. It's just so we can look at ourselves while playing.
You sounded so let down that you just waved at yourself.
Every time I keep...
So that's what I'm getting now? Great.
I keep sighing and stuff, and you keep looking at me as if I'm going to talk.
You-
Oh, wait, no.
You just don't want to be here. See what I hate?
I just tend to sigh.
Come on then. Mm-hmm.
I could hear it.
I don't get why you spoke one of them anyway.
Why not?
Is it to look cool on the podcast?
Oh yeah, I only smoke on the podcast.
You got a problem with me smoking one?
You're alright. Mate, you're
Alright.
definitely heavy into it. You've got about 6 different batteries in your
Yeah.
bag.
Mate, I'm dedicated.
This is actually Liz's battery right now.
See, I don't borrow. I have my own.
So I'm not spending like 20 quid on a fucking another battery. I'm not that desperate. I can charge my battery. It takes like 5 minutes to charge it.
Mate, I have...
And it lasts for like 4 days.
I had one of these badass ones. Apparently the guy was trying to sell it to me and he was like, yeah, it's got like a double intake valve or something. I was like, oh, cool.
These are my...
Like, I don't know
There's
what that is,
some
but-
guy who there's some guy who comes and specs at home. He has like a fucking cauldron.
Yeah, you have-
that
you
big.
have
He
some
walks
really
around like this. And he gave one. They're like nearly 100 quid for the whole thing. He just because like one of the guys at work
Right,
sorted him out with a Viv for his beardy. He just gave him one of his huge fucking things.
The guy doesn't even smoke an e-cig. He just now he's just got an e-cig ban. Now I've already got these. I've got these 5, and that's only because I started with the small one and sort of bought some extra spares, tried out a few different types of them, and I've pretty much just used those 3.
Liz's one seems to make it
These
a
2
lot.
are like backups.
Liz's one seems to make it a lot smoother.
There's different. You do get a different amount of wattage in them.
This one's a lot nicer than that one.
It's because that's because of the
The double,
The
double
atom-
intake valve.
what you got there. It's the internal wick as well. Yeah, go. I've got shit to do.
And we're back. So, why did you look so scared?
What was that?
You were like, shit, we're podcasting again.
It's because Josh wants to go. I've got to drag this out.
Don't want to be at home.
where the monster lives.
Yeah. So, what were we last speaking about? I was still on my week, but we can ignore the rest of that. I said about only if, so that's enough.
We're going on to the main topic.
It's 15 years since the PS2 came out. Did you know that?
That's a scary thought.
It was 15-year birthday the other day.
That means it's like 15 years since the South Park movie came out.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, because that came. That
Shit,
came out.
I'm still referencing it.
I don't listen to hip hop. It came out roughly the same time as the PS2, if I remember.
Really fucking hell. So I was wondering, like, if you can think out off the top of your head, like, what one of your favourite games off the PS2 was.
Well, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Because
was a
obviously
big
we all had one. No one cared about the Xbox at the time.
I only played
So-
Xbox at a mate's house.
Yeah,
I,
same.
I loved all like the Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank platformer series when platformers were still in their
Relevant, yeah,
heyday.
Yeah.
I mean, I still like them now, but
Was
you know,
Crash on PS2? Like, was there a decent Crash on PS2? I think they phased it out. Like, I think he went multi-platform.
yeah, the best.
in
I think I
PS2,
feel the
but-
best Crashes were still 1 and 2, and maybe 3, but definitely 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it gave birth to Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. And
I don't know why, when you said that, it didn't click straight away, and I was thinking Banjo-Kazooie. Right.
another great platform.
Go on.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of other games.
Anything that you can think of, Alex?
The only thing,
Or what
well,
you're
I mean,
thinking?
most
I'm
time
not just
spent
cutting you
would
off,
have been
Josh.
obviously the GTA series.
See, that's
Just
what,
the GTA.
Yeah, well, that's what you have to mention that though, don't you? Like GTA 3 was such a big thing.
I never played GTA 3.
Did you not?
It was such a step
it was
from
like
2.
yeah, it was
London.
near release.
Was
of
London, was
PS2.
that still top down?
London
or-
was still top down.
Yeah,
Except
it was
instead
just it was an expansion to
Number 1.
GTA 1. Yeah.
of, they're all
It
going
was
like,
GTA
oh,
1,
blimey, governor,
London
instead.
2. Yeah.
Instead of like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Still
Yeah.
firing water guns at
Yeah, and
each
when
other.
when you died, it said you're brown bread, and when you got arrested, it was
You're nicked.
You're nicked. Yeah.
Like
Your
your
Nick
Nick
son.
Sunshine.
Yeah, it was well good. It was. I love that, and it had like the James Bond car in it, which was whatever James Bond film was around at that time. Actually, no, it was a '60s James Bond car because it was set
Yeah,
in the
'cause it's set
'60s.
in
like the-
60s.
Yeah, so but that was an awesome car that could like shoot and had machine guns on it and stuff. That game was awesome, but obviously we're talking about PS2. Funny enough, I have 2 PS2s in this room. And
Final
one
Fantasy
PS1.
Final
You
Fantasy
need 3
10.
PS3s. Final Fantasy 10, yeah.
Not that I owned it. I
What?
just played it a lot with my friends.
I have to mention Vice City solely for the fact that I loved 3. I was really into 3. I was always
Vice
into all
City
the
was better than 3.
Yeah, I
I
was
think
always
San
into
Andreas took the lead of all of them.
I think San Andreas is a better game than Vice City. But
Vice City had a better story.
I have to mention Vice City for the fact that like I was into like my cousin had GTA 1 when it first came out and it was on PC, and I fell in love with it. And then I got it and got London when London came out, and I have a weird story about going into EB Games. And getting because I couldn't work out how to get play London because I was so young in it. So you had to put in GTA 1 and take it out and put in London. And the manager at the time actually took me upstairs into the with my mother.
So you want to play, do you?
It was also a woman.
Wasn't GTA 18? Wasn't
Yeah.
showing a kid how to play?
That's the thing. Like she took me upstairs and showed me how to work it. And even back then,
And that's when
Take shorts off.
that's when you had your
I
And
was
work
8 years
it.
old.
your second contactless orgasm.
No, she took me upstairs because she was like, "Oh, it's an expansion, so you have to put in the first one and then put in that." And I was like, "Oh!" Even back then, I was like, "So like, obviously I know everything." I was like, "Oh, I know that. Oh, of course I know that. It's not working." It's like, "No, you have to do it." "No, it's not working." And then she showed me how to work it, and it worked.
Showed him how to work.
Fuck off. Yeah, but she took me upstairs. Man, after working in the game shop, I don't know how the fuck EB Games worked because I went upstairs into that like whatever bit they had in Priory Meadow into our
Dark,
shopping
dingy
centre.
room with a video camera in the
It was
corner.
it was in their stock room, and it was just boxes. They just had boxes in there, overflowing with games. There was no filing, there was no sorting anything out. It was just boxes with games literally falling out of them. And right at the back of the room, there was a black and white TV because I guess they just weren't gonna. The company wasn't paying for colour TVs. Obviously, years since they black and white. I'm not that old. And
You had
there
to
was
chuck a hole in it for it to turn on.
yeah, there's a PS1 plugged into it below, and I think there might have been like a N64 or whatever. And she took me over and then showed me. She like took it over and put it in, showed me how to work it. I don't know
No,
why I
I'm
keep
sorry, you
saying.
have to cut that voice clip out. She took me over, put it in, showed me how to work it. 8-year-old Carl in
Yeah.
a black and white TV.
I don't know how old I was. I was probably older than 8. But yeah. Anyway, we're talking about.
This is how you kill hookers.
And this is how you pay them.
I don't know if there was hookers in the old games. I don't think there was.
There
was
weren't. There was just. I remember lots of Elvis impersonators and a lot of Hare Krishna
Yeah, I was going to say there was
worshippers.
But yeah, GTA 3, because I was always into them. GTA 3 was like a really big thing for me. But Vice City was the thing that really got me into like game reviews and game news and stuff like that. It was the lead up to Vice City that like I started properly buying magazines and looking into it, and I actually got into that kind of world of things. So that's what Vice City kind of stands out.
You got in quite late then, because I sort of started picking
Well, I
up
always
gaming
had-
magazines. And
I had
reading them when
gaming
was young.
magazines and stuff.
Gaming magazines were the only way to find out when you got stuck on things,
Yeah.
like how to get through.
Yeah, I always had. I
Free
always,
with this one, a cheat book.
yeah, yeah, all the demo
A
discs.
to Z. Just,
Yeah, I got.
Where's the Tomb Raider?
I got like I was always getting them, but it was like the first time that I actually cared about what they were saying. Like, so I would
Not
get
just
it.
looking at the picture.
before you just
Yeah,
bought it
yeah.
to look cool.
No, it was like I was looking at pictures or getting like PS1 demo discs and stuff.
I hated the demo discs.
What's wrong with
You
demo
get so
discs? They were
excited
so
about
good.
it, and then you play it, there'll be like 2 minutes of each game on there.
Yeah,
You'll remember Demo 1 for PS1 though.
yeah.
don't you?
I think I have demo one
I've got
somewhere.
Demo 1 somewhere.
But yeah, no, I always had them, but that was the first one that made me actually care about like reviews and previews and the lead up. It was more about the lead up to the game. It wasn't like because there was obviously a lot reviews at the time, and you'd read them, but you mostly just look at the pictures and be like, "This game looks cool." But yeah,
Mummy,
it's
buy now!
Yeah, but it was the first thing that actually I got excited, and I was like reading up on all the news that would come out about it and everything the lead up to the game, not necessarily just the game itself. But San Andreas was a much better game.
Oh, it was.
Much better. Vice City wasn't really that much of a leap from 3. San Andreas was much better. It was much better than 4 as well. 4 was awful.
It's because 4 was it was an updated engine with a backtrack, sort of,
Yeah.
really. It's sort of like, we've got this, but we're cutting a lot out.
Yeah, and they were like, we really want to do like this hardcore gritty story, but that means that we have to take everything good out of the game and just like have you play like
It could
this
have
shit.
been.
Like,
I mean, that's the thing though. Is GTA has always been funny, but it's not been in your face funny. That's where Saints Row has kind of taken the lead on that one. Where I do
that's why
like.
I stopped liking Saints Row.
I stopped liking it after 3, just because
I
I thought.
stopped-
Don't get me wrong, I like the
it was
zany
at
humour in it.
3 that I stopped liking it.
But
like,
it just
during
forget there's a certain level, because I remember playing Saints Row on the 360 or seeing a preview before I got the 360 and thinking,
Yeah.
this looks better than GTA.
Saints Row 2 was an awesome game, and they got so into like the gang stuff. It was really fun.
Mm.
But 3 just kind of like started to turn. They were like, well, the funny stuff in 2 was really popular, so we're just going to only do that now.
Mm.
See,
And, like, the
I started
surrealism.
playing at number 4, but people used to go on at me about how good number 2 was. They
Yeah.
always compared it to GTA as if it was.
Yeah, 2 was 2 came out around about the same time as GTA 4, and even though GTA 4 was obviously like sold better, did everything like was more popular. I think critically, Saints Row 2 was a better game.
Well,
I thought it was a
I
better
like
game.
Saints Row 1 for the things like, oh look, there's a convenience store here. If you want, you can break into it and nickel the stuff in the safe. And I thought, for a game that's, you know, like GTA is focused around being like that, I thought, yeah, loading up the back of my car with loads of boxes that had, even the boxes had just physics to be able to just dump it in the back of a pickup
Yeah.
truck and then quickly get to the safe house. You turned a corner too hard. One of the boxes flew out. Shit, got to go back and get it.
Yeah.
Sort of, I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And the physics engine again, it was sort of like, you know, I'm going to run this person over. They actually bounce off the bonnet and roll over the car,
Yeah.
and that guy was in a hot dog suit, so it made it even funnier.
Yeah, see, like Saints Row and Saints Row 2 had a lot of humour. It had more. It did have more in your face humour than GTA did, but it was still a kind of side thing. Like there was there was a lot of side missions that you would do in Saints Row 2 that there was like a whole thing that was I think you were working for a news station or something, and there was like pirates versus ninjas. And there was like, you have to go and check out this war between pirates versus ninjas. And there was because at the internet at the time, everyone was like, there's still
Yeah.
rate going on today,
You
but
still
it was at the
pick a
time it was at
side,
its peak
pirates
that it
versus
was
ninjas.
like, yeah. And you went there and you just went in and killed them all yourself. But it was like so funny how they did it, and it was so surreal at the
It's
same
'cause
time.
it took,
But then
it took pop culture, didn't it? Like
but,
South Park.
Yeah,
does.
but then they were like, when 3 was cut, when they were making 3, they were like, oh yeah, that stuff really worked. So let's the entire game be that. It's like no, what you're oversaturating your game.
The reason it was funny is because it was a little snippet of it. It wasn't
Yeah.
the entire game. It was sort of like doing all this, and let's take a brief moment to be hilariously funny. And now
Yeah.
we're going back to just being sort of funny.
And 2, it was funny most of the time, but there was some fucking hard, like one of the early missions, Johnny Gat's wife gets beheaded. Like you're getting
It's so
in
long ago, I can't remember
yeah,
half of this.
you're getting in a gang war with the Ronins, the like Japanese gang
Yeah.
that's obviously like Yakuza, but they didn't name it that. And
Well, Ronin, it means samurai without a master.
Late Master, yeah. And they go in, they go into Johnny Gat's home, and like you turn up just as like they got a katana out and she's there and they swing. You don't actually see it happen. They swing the katana, and it's very much of a John Woo scene of like as they swing it, like there's some daffodils instead because their colour was yellow. So it's like I think it was daffodils at the time, and you just saw some daffodils fly into the air and drop down, like it would be roses in a John Woo film.
Yeah.
But it was very much artistic like that, and that was like a fucking big like holy shit they just killed this guy's wife scene. And then you're going, and like 5 minutes later, you're laughing your ass off at some stuff. But there was a good fucking balance. Now it's just like, blah, 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 dicks, fucking giant cat suits and mechs and fucking superhero powers and stuff like that. And it's like...
See, I spent the whole of 4 again. It was the first one I played, and I was running around wearing a mankini, firing off a dubstep gun. So.
Yeah, but there was stuff like that in 2.
Dubstep gun?
Yeah,
Did you never
have not
see
seen a dubstep gun?
No.
It's
kinda
probably one of
funny.
the best weapons I've ever used in my life.
It was
a hell of a lot
it is
of
quite
fun.
funny, and it could have fit in any of those games as
It like
as a
fires
thing.
musical notes.
And it makes people dance.
I remember from, was it number 3, there being like a giant dildo baseball bat, and it would be
Yeah.
like floppy. So if you the physics engine again, you smack someone, like, and they just sort of fly
But
off.
it was that was the main promotional thing about 3, and that was what I was like. I don't think I'm gonna like this game.
Yeah.
Like,
I
they're
don't
going
know.
too
They just
far.
overkilled it with
Yeah.
comedy, didn't they? Yeah.
They
It
were
was,
going
it
too
wasn't
far.
even comedy. It was
And-
just sort of look how funny and out there this
Yeah,
is. It
and,
was like,
and even down to the people who are actually like presenting the game at I think it was like E3. There was a guy that saw they had like a like curtained off booth because it's 18 and you have to curtain off the 18 games.
Yeah.
And they had the staff in there, and there was a guy. They had actual versions of the giant dildo bat thing, and someone snuck in, like a viewer or something, like kind of peeked open the curtain as they were before the show floor opened, and he was like kind of like giving a motivational speech to everyone, like to perform really well, and he had this bat in his hand. It does sound funny, like what he was doing. He's walking around just slapping the bat into his hand and giving this big motivational speech with this giant pink dildo. But like that's exactly what the fucking game was. That motivational speech, that whole thing, that was the entire game. Wow, that was funny. If that scene was in the game, you'd be like, this is like fucking amazing. But then
it's a meta.
it just went too far, I feel. Anyway, we were talking about PS2. That's on 360. That's a generation later.
Sorry. Carry on without me. Do that. You can. But he's only got one hand. He still gets along.
He doesn't even have his sword.
There you go.
What have you done to him?
His hand's fallen off in the
Oh
move.
man. Oh, it was already blue tacked in anyway.
Yeah.
Risk is out the toilet then. Didn't realise you were on
The worst one I have is fucking thingy. Oh shit, I can't even remember his name now. Nope. Yes.
the toilet.
Itachi, there we go. I was thinking,
Remember Itachi?
yeah, that's what I was saying, it's really bad. Because he leans forwards too far. He's blue tacked in. But like, some reason he's like, hey.
Why are his feet bent like that?
I don't know. I always bend them back, but they just bend back into that place. I can't bend it back too far. They've already got cracks along it from where I've been trying to bend them back.
That's nearly strict.
Without the blue tacking, he's just too like top heavy and just falls forwards.
Have any blue tack in there, probably like that.
He just falls over. It's really fucking annoying.
Oh man. Got one with blue tack.
Yeah.
That's cool.
A little dryer there as well, which is for some reason the same size. they were part of a set. I don't know why fucking unless
Okay.
it's dryer using fucking like Choji's gigantic technique. Like,
Right. PS2 games.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, PS2 games. What else have we got? Metal Gear
Shadow of
Solid.
the Colossus.
Okay, yeah, I never played that, but that is one of the biggest, critically biggest ones.
Metal Gear Solid 2
That's
and
what I was
3
gonna
and
mention.
Substance and Subsistence.
Tony Hawk's.
Tony Hawk's.
Oh man, that was like the entire generation. Tony Hawk's has to be one of the biggest things.
That's where a lot of us got our music from.
yeah, fuck yeah. Or there was Dave Mirror BMX. That was like in the distant behind of trying to.
BMX.
What was the last?
No, that's both of them.
The last Tony Hawk's come out.
It wasn't it the one that had the board.
They've done a
periphery
few
with it?
with a board.
I thought that they were skate ones.
No, Skate I would say is the better. As we've gotten older, like it's evolved, Skate has become better. But
So you haven't went on a skate as like.
Is your microphone off again?
realistic. No, it's no problem.
it is
just
real,
distant from your mouth.
It's
to your
realistic
mouth
in the
quickly.
sense of control. Like you are more in control of your board rather than pressing a button in a direction. And it's like, oh, you've done a trick. You have more control over how I don't know how many times you want to flip it round or whatever.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the same classic skater charm as all the Tony Hawk's games, especially like Underground, where it's like, oh hey, you're here to meet Stacy Peralta and join the team, and you're some guy from Jersey and you suck, but hey, let's give it a go anyway. Wow, you won the entire contest! And you're best mates with Tony Hawk's and Chad Musker. How does that feel? And you're like, oh, I just want to go home and make music like my mom, you know. It was amazing.
No, I spent my childhood on those games. They
Yeah,
they
me
were
too.
so
Yeah,
much fun.
They were amazing. Especially, which one was it? Was it Tony Hawk's 2 that had Spider-Man?
Oh,
remember
I
they
think
had
it was. Quite
Quite a few of them
I don't
did
know.
have him, and then you could create a scare, but I think 2 had Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think
Was
it was 2.
And that
Wasn't
was
that
that was
Neversoft
like
guy?
Yeah, that was like oh yeah.
You could be Django Fett on on
They just had
Underground.
so many good like unlockable stuff in it, like
Officer Dick on the first one as well.
yeah. And they had such good skate parks, like that one that
It's all about school. It's all about school too.
no, is it the Foundry, the one that just like has lava in it?
Oh,
like-
is that where the helicopter is? You have to jump over the helicopter.
That was on
Don't
number
remember.
3, wasn't it?
That was the one that they've just remade for Xbox. wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Probably the
That was
airport
it.
one was really good as well. I think
Yeah.
that's been remade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but-
yeah. Because you got levels that were quite open, and you also got levels that were more sort of a linear downhill
Yeah.
luge.
Well, because that was back in the day when you'd have a 2-minute start from the beginning of the level, whereas when they got later on to like the undergrounds, it would be free roam, wouldn't it? And then you'd pick
And
up
then
Yeah.
missions
you
as
pick
you go.
mission-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all like get this, get the 6 score, get the pro score, get this score.
See, I love the 2-minute runs because you'd be like, oh, how many of these can I get done in my first run, like
Yeah.
on the first thing? So because obviously it's all like you say, it's downhill, so you'd be getting the combo and the skate and. all
Can you
the
find
things.
the hidden tape? Oh,
Yeah,
I think.
the hidden tape.
Yeah, see, the airport level was so good for that though, because it was that linear path, but it had so many like offshoots of it
Yeah.
that you could
Because
go
that's what
off and it was
the
like
mall
go
in
off
number
and do
1
this.
had that, didn't it? Was it number 1 or number 2? Yeah, it was number 1. The mall,
Number 1, yeah.
which was literally a downhill, and you had to collect something else. You had skate to collect, but there were also like 5 something else to collect as well. I
Yeah.
think. But they were all awesome. I even I had Thrasher Skate and Destroy on PS1. And that was another good. It wasn't good in the same light as Tony Hawk's. Tony Hawk's was better, but it was good in the sense that it had these sort of. And I keep talking about physics engines, but it did feel like a lot heavier. So like you could just pop a kickflip with one jump. You couldn't kickflip and then quickly that and then move on. It was a
Yeah.
lot more tight in that respect. It had some good music, and once you bailed as well, you got to choose your. Like what got you out of it better because you had like bone damage. So like
Right.
if you fell off your board, you could either squeeze into a ball to avoid being hurt too much, or try and grab onto a ledge to soften your fall.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's really cool.
It was a
I like
really
that.
cool
cool,
little
yeah.
aspect. Or you could just fucking swan dive it and think, "Fuck it, I'm going out like a bat," you know.
Yeah.
But
So
I really like that.
When I was really young, I used to play this motocross game. I had no idea what it was. It was on the PC. This is when I was really young at the time. But I always wanted like a doctor mode kind of thing. Like if you had a really fatal crash, it would be like, yeah, you've broken your pelvis, or you've like, do you know what I mean? I always wanted that kind of. I don't know
Skate
why.
had that, yeah.
that depth to it, yeah.
Well, I thought you were wanting. I wanted it to go into like after you had like a surgeon simulator mini game.
Oh my god, your pelvis!
you have
Well,
to
you
try
had
and
to-
fix your body.
Not even that, you play as the fire department that has to
I
come and
think we've
cut you
just
out the car.
created a new game here, guys.
That'd be awesome.
They're remaking it to a degree, but there was a game, and I know this is PS1, in which it was, I forget what it's called, but it was basically a race game in which you could either have skateboard, rollerblades, bike, and things like that. And it was a game where you had to obviously race through a certain city, get through checkpoints to get more points, and get to the end of the map. But you could punch each other or like viciously attack each other. So you could be rollerblading and someone's coming up to your right, and you could just fucking sock them and knock them off and keep going. And I remember playing that on a demo of it
You
on
can
the
imagine
PS1.
these days if that was the case that if that game was came out and it was online and you could choose whatever, every person on rollerblades would just be punched off the entire time.
No,
people
Well, they've
wouldn't
got
care
similar
about
things on
winning a
GTA,
race.
haven't you? Though, because when you're racing with motorbikes and stuff, you can get your bats
Yeah,
out
you can
and
do that,
try
yeah.
and hit people.
It's like
off
Road
and-
Rash, the old Road Rash game, which was that motorbike racing, and you had like the chain whips and stuff.
Yeah.
They should make a new
It's
one.
all,
of that.
all
It's very
just
similar.
evolved from Mario Kart.
It was very similar to that, but it was just all sort of extreme sports rather than motorbikes.
Yeah.
So the people on the skateboard wouldn't stand up; they'd be luging it, sort of like that. So if anyone came close, they'd be like, "Fuck off!" Just carry on going. But I remember loving that because there'd also be obstacles like you'd have bars this high or bars this high that you had to go through, and you either ducked or
Yeah.
you jumped over it. But I just remember thinking, this is a brilliant racing game. It combines racing and fighting. So half the point of the game was to kick the shit out of anyone that tried to get near you. Which
Yeah.
was a lot more, sort of a lot more offensive than in Mario Kart. You're like, I shelled you. It's like, fuck that, I punched you off your bike. Because you're a prick.
Just jumped off my cart onto yours and stabbed you in the face.
Pretty much just
Stole
jump onto
your
the
car.
bonnet, punched you in the face,
GTA cart.
pulled out the keys to your ignition and jumped back onto my car. Now there's a mod for Mario Kart.
Mate, Mario Kart was one of the most frustrating games I ever played. When I used to play it with Joe and Max and all that, like I could end up hitting them by the end of the round. Like,
Oh fuck yeah! I can't remember. I made a really. I thought of like a really good kart racer the other day. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have
Let
been
me get
like,
my notepad out and you can tell me all about it.
but they should definitely redo a fucking Micro Machines game.
They were talking. No, they're doing that, aren't they? I swear.
No,
I
I
heard
think
talking.
I think there's an indie game that's kind of copying the Micro Machines thing, but it's just like in the modern day of karts and stuff. How is that not?
do you guys ever play Nuts and Bolts or whatever it was? Was that
Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts.
Banjo-Kazooie,
I
wasn't
didn't
it?
know.
I
'cause
did
it was
because
awful, apparently.
Jamie bought it, and I played it through. Like he'd bring his Xbox around, I'd play it with him through proxy. It was awful if you wanted the next Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
It wasn't awful for the sense that it was a lot of fun.
I don't know,
But it was
yeah.
originally created to be like the Banjo 3E.
Freaky.
Well, that's what.
No, I
that's
just
what they were
laugh
going
at
to
their
call it.
stupid naming convention.
Yeah, I think
Banjo
the
2E.
fans dubbed it Banjo 3. Yeah, you can see that they obviously designed it to be like one of these platformers, go out and collect all these things, but they changed it at the last minute to be something else and thought, fuck it, we'll slap Banjo-Kazooie on it. So I wouldn't say it was an awful game if you were waiting for the latest Banjo-Kazooie game, but it was a lot of fun.
That was a standalone game, yeah.
The amount of
Yeah, so
things
that's
we
just-
created to like there's still one we're talking about now, which was this giant robot crab that was.
Did you make a
destroyed,
dick?
And we just called it Battle Crab.
Did you make a dick?
Jamie made countless dicks.
Yes. See, that's what we have a robot on IDARB. You can make your own characters, and we have a Robot Bunch Gaming.
Yeah, don't say we because
Team.
you created it.
Yep, we have a Robot Bunch Gaming team, and the first character on that team is a giant dick, and then the second one is
You made tits, a vagina,
is
a singular tit.
yeah, a pair of tits, a singular tit, and a vagina.
You also made a black man's willy.
Did I? No,
Oh,
I
that
didn't.
was that
No,
other
that's
team we
one
played
we were
against.
fighting against. They
You
had
played a team where it was just a
It was-
white
it
dick
was-
and a black dick.
It was me as a dick, and I've got like this kind of like just like really plain basic dick
with a bit of
with a bit of cum
jizz coming
spraying
out.
out of it. And Josh is playing as his own character that he made himself of him.
That looks like me. So I
then-
thought I'll go for the whole hog. I'll make me.
And then we went against this team, and they had like this really like well shaded, like
Detailed
very
couple of cocks.
couple of cocks. Like they were exactly the same. But one was black and one was white. And I was in awe. I was like, oh man, these dicks are so much better than my dick.
You got penis envy just for playing IDARB.
And then we won. No, we lost, and then we won.
We played a few games.
They were really good.
They were
we
dicks,
lost. They were dicks. We lost, and then we won twice, I think, and then they quit.
They got blue balled. No, you were saying about the PS2. Was there a build up to it, or were we just remembering?
I was just reminiscing about how the PS2 was.
Do you
Because PS2 was the best-selling console.
Yeah. Do you remember getting
Best selling.
when you bought magazines? Because I assume that you bought PlayStation 2 magazines as well. Is you'd get like a demo disc with it, and it would give you. I remember playing the shit out of the one that gave me the playable demo of Metal Gear Solid 2, but also it had reviews of games, and you'd get like someone before IGN was a thing and things like that. It'd have the PlayStation magazine reviewers.
Yeah.
And I remember them reviewing games, and that was a lot of my news source for games. And I used to sit there watching them over and over because I'd hear them say, in this rendition we see Solid Snake being reborn as a much gritty character and all this, and now you can do this and this. I was like, this game is gonna be so cool, and it was up until they told me how to play as Raiden. But it was it was this.
I like Raiden.
He's better in later games.
I like Raiden in 2.
You like him in 2?
I like Raiden in 2.
I don't-
never played Metal Gear Solid 1.
I don't hate him, and neither does the rest of the internet. To be honest.
Yes, they do.
No, the reason
Yes, they
the
do.
reason they hate him is because he was pushed in front of Solid Snake.
Because everyone was betrayed.
Yeah,
See,
basically.
this is why everyone's worried about the new Halo game, aren't they?
Oh, what? Because of Clock,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck his name is. Is
So
it
I
Locke
think that
or
he's going to
Clock
get
or
pushed
Lucky?
forward to be the better.
Yeah, I saw there was something posted.
Because people
on
are saying that they reckon Master Chief's going to die in this.
Yeah,
in this
no,
one,
it's
isn't
not.
it?
Why not? He's a bit bland.
Did you see that in the group room, the Facebook group?
Maybe. I do
Because-
read a lot of stuff off there.
That was a fake article.
Oh, right, okay.
It was it's some fucking bullshit website that now just makes big headlines and then you click on the link and it's a troll face. And that's
Oh, no, it was a proper article that I was reading.
Oh, okay. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to kill him off. It's going to be here. It's going to be like Halo 2.
Even if they don't kill him off, you don't really want someone pushed in front to be the lead runner.
Yeah, but what about
Which is why we were so let down with Metal Gear Solid 2. all
Yeah, but
those
Well, yeah,
years
this is
ago.
what I mean. This is what they were
yeah, but what
comparing
about
it to.
what about Arbiter in Halo 2?
Yeah, but he's no.
He's cool.
No, but I don't really see
And
him
the
as
thing
being
is, this
like.
guy's going to be working with the Arbiter as well.
Yeah. I don't know. We just have to see how it
I
plays
don't,
out.
I don't even think we're going to play as this guy. I think it's going to be all.
I think he's definitely going to be a playable character.
Really? I think it's going to be cutscenes with him in.
It might be a section that you play as him or something. Like you
I thought
play
you were
most
gonna
of
say
the,
it might be a sex scene that you play.
you play most of the game as your
That's
classic
random.
Master Chief, and then you have certain missions or levels where it's like, oh, and now over in this room, what's going on over here? 8 hours earlier.
Possibly.
That correlate. It might be like a time lapse thing. So
Yeah, I
you
think
play
that's
as one
what's going
person
on.
playing that
'Cause
time.
it's gonna- yeah,
and then
that-
the same a different person playing in the same time scale.
It could
yeah.
make sense because he's trying to track down Master Chief and him and Arbiter.
I actually don't know any of the story for the latest one. Like I told you before, I sort of tuned out after number 3.
Yeah, well, basically, Cortana's dead.
I
Master
didn't hear the internet cry out. Surely the internet would have cried out.
Did you generally not hear the internet cry out?
No.
She's
She's not dead. She's on Windows phones.
That's why it didn't cry out.
Yeah.
No, yeah, well, I think the thing is, like, most people just think she's not actually going to be dead. Like, she's not.
She's AI.
That's the thing. She's not a living human, is she? So you could just fucking reboot the program. Like,
What if they brought a new AI in and called her like Deborah? That everyone would fucking hate.
Deborah from Dexter.
or Dortana.
They're just completely normal names. It's like, okay, we lost Cortana, but here's your new operating system AI called Babs. Go mad with Babs. It's like some busty barmaid. Hello, Master Chief! We're going on a little mission, aren't we?
like Fable.
She's just really...
What's she from Mary Poppins?
Dick Van Dyke with big tits.
It was Mary
Hello,
Poppins.
Mary Poppins!
It should be Mary Poppins. You're walking along, and then just like this AI figure floats down on an umbrella.
Step in time, step in time.
Well, that's the thing is,
Master Chief.
is the reason that everyone liked Cortana so
like
much
that game.
is she sort of showed almost a human love interest
She was-
side
yeah,
towards
she-
Master Chief. So it's like, hello, Cortana's gone, but I fancy her going your truncheon if you know what I mean.
Cortana was the AI program, but she was the human one out of the two, and Master Chief was the human, but he was more the robotic out of the two. That was
Yeah.
that was the relationship.
What a double act.
Yeah, but no, this whole game's blatantly just going to be like Halo 3 was, where it's going to be him trying to find Cortana again. He's going to be
And she's
trying
going to be all derpy.
he's going to be trying to get her back, even though she's apparently been killed.
It's like a love story. Like, I
But
just want her
yeah,
back.
it's going to be him trying to get her back, and he's
Itching
just
your
going to
foot.
find.
Reindeer.
It's going to be him trying to find Dr. Halsey because she's the one that created Cortana, and
Roadhouse.
That was fucking common.
Sorry.
yeah, it's going to be him tracking her. Which is
Why does he care so much?
Because he does, but it's the kind of the most fucked up relationship though, because like obviously Cortana is like kind of like a girlfriend figure, but Dr. Halsey is pretty much a mother figure to Master Chief, and Cortana is a replication of Dr. Halsey. It's her, but projected when she was younger. Like when she made Cortana, she was that age.
With blue boobies.
Haven't you ever seen pictures of your mother when she was younger?
What a masturbation.
That was Carl's. That was Carl's.
Yeah, did you not know my mum was in the WWF?
Honey, I'm just getting out some old family pictures. Oh, cool. Let's have a look. I need to leave the room. Mum, I need changing.
How young was I?
I don't know. Tender age of 4.
So I do try to get my girlfriends to dress me now, but they don't. Now
You said to dress up as your mother.
A bit of both, really. Can you dress up as my mum and change me? Also, I want a juice box.
What the fuck were we talking about? Halo.
Why are we talking
Anyway,
about Halo?
PS2.
It wasn't out on the PS2.
That's what I just realised.
We had Half-Life on the PS2 as well as the PC. Half-Life came out on the PS2.
Who the fuck cares about that game?
Because it brought in the you
No
had
one cares about any kind of
Half-Life-
sequel to Half-Life.
Half-Life is much better than Halo. Anyway, we're not going to get into that debate. That's my taste and your taste. PS2 Half-Life had Half-Life Decay, which was a co-op mode in which you played as two, I can't remember their names, but two female scientists running on a parallel time scale to when Gordon Freeman is escaping and during the resonance cascade at Black Mesa, which was really fun.
Funny enough, saying about that, also other games that tied into PS2 that had an alternate story, I think it was on PS2, may have been PS1, I'm pretty sure it's 2, was Fallout Brotherhood. There was a Fallout game on PS2 that was about the Brotherhood of Steel instead, but it was like a...
it was still the old style of game, wasn't it?
No, I think it was like a third-person shooter, but it was... no, I think it was like... sorry, I think it was more like Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, that's
So
well, that's,
was
how,
it-
that's how the Fallout 2
No, they were like...
Isometric
Baldur's Gate
Gate.
was kind of like... It wasn't quite the same as
It
Fallout.
wasn't bird's eye, it's isometric bird's eye.
Yeah, no, Fallout was... It looked different, anyway. It looked different, but Fallout 1 and 2 looked different to Baldur's Gate. However, I can't remember how to describe it.
Well, isometric is when it's bird's eye, but from an angle.
Yeah, from an
like
angle.
From a 45
no,
degree
that's
angle.
what. But I'm just trying to think of whether I'm thinking it looks different to Baldur's Gate because the graphics of Fallout 1 and 2 wasn't as good, or whether it's because it was fully bird's eye.
Graphics of
Not
Fallout.
quite remember.
I've got Fallout 1
But
and 2.
also Fallout 1 and 2 were turn-based,
Yes.
and Brotherhood was not. That's the other major gameplay point. Apparently, it wasn't as good, but
Fair enough.
it was meant to be a good game. It came out around about the same time as
Oh no,
Fallout.
I do remember it. Yes.
There was Fallout Brotherhood Tactics, which came out on PS2, PC, near enough the same time.
No, I remember Brotherhood because I remember reading about it in PlayStation Magazine.
Oh, lordy
I've still got all my back issues of it. I've still got all the back issues. Who remembers Simpsons Hit and Run?
Oh, I never played it.
Is that out on PS2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like GTA but Simpsons,
Yeah.
but not so much killing, more sort of
Yeah.
oh Marge, dealing with
Oh,
all.
Marge, I killed someone today.
Like if you wanted to commandeer someone's car, you didn't actually nick it off them. You actually got a lift with them. Like when you look into the inside of the car, like rotate the camera, and it's the person who's originally driving the car still driving the car, and you sitting in the passenger seat, but you have full control.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing a Kermit the Frog voice.
Hard lap. And then that wasn't coming.
I don't know what that was.
I need a lift. You basically got someone to give you a lift rather than, but it wouldn't show that. You just sort of press a triangle, and the screen would sort of do the whole fade to black and then unfade, and you'd be in the car sort of thing. Oh look, I'm in the car. It was a lot of fun.
Talk about a game that's personal for me and Carl is the old Budokai Tenkaichi series.
Oh shit! Why have we not spoken about that yet? Oh man,
That was
yes.
Dragon Ball Z. wasn't it?
Dragon Ball Z.
Because I remember
Yeah.
playing. The only time I played those the
Best ones.
fighting games, the Dragon Ball ones, was with like Max and Joe and probably you as well. Actually,
Yeah.
Because I remember after
but
school.
not me, Dick.
I don't think you were there.
I
I think you
existed.
might have actually
I
been there.
existed.
The other one was all the wrestling SmackDown games. we
I
used to
was
play.
about to mention that
Yeah.
as
After
well.
school,
Yeah.
we all used to
Yeah.
go out to Tolls or someone's. We'd all like bring our memory cards with our imported wrestlers.
We used to have weekends and we'd go to different people's houses on different weekends and
Yeah.
have like events
Well,
and
this
stuff.
was, like,
We'd literally
Come
set up
back,
events
you
and be like,
chicken
it's SummerSlam, guys!
Josh Raw.
Come back, you chicken for bastard!
I was sitting there for that, but I was supposed to say that.
Come back, you chicken for bastard!
We used to have band practice and we'd literally rehearse for about 10 minutes. Then we'd be like, so, does anyone want to go play SmackDown? And then we just do these Unreal Royal Rumbles, and you'd get people that would come in the ring, and you'd Irish whip them one way, and then you'd hit them over the top rope, and they'd do this like...
That was the best way to get. That was the best way to win a Royal Rumble. As soon as someone comes in, Irish rip
just
him and you
constantly. That was the only way. You just like look. You could finish a royal, like get people out so quick, but if you actually tried to fight them, then it would take fucking ages to get them out.
So as soon as the new ones came out, and then it was the old...
Yeah, just struggled to get them out.
This game sucks now.
I remember getting SmackDown 1 on PS1 years ago. Me and my mum had just done a boot fair, and the idea from my part of the boot fair was that if I make enough money I can go buy SmackDown, and it was fucking amazing.
Mate, the loading screens they used to have it was so funny. It'd be like, The Rock has a great... The Rock Bottom!
It's just like
The
one
Undertaker
recording
has
of
a
it.
great... The Last Ride!
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That's what we used to do. That's when we were in college. Me and Joe and...
Don't say you're in college. Say you're in year 7.
No.
For nostalgia's sake.
No, but me and Dom and Joe would come back from... And Mackie. We'd come back from college and we'd play on Wednesdays. We'd come back and play Here Comes the Pain, I think it was. Yeah, that was good.
I used to
days.
love doing things like getting Kane, because you could get
like,
people into
all
different personalities and stuff, so you could get Kane and set him as a woman, so he'd walk down to the ring like this.
Yeah.
Just do all these stupid things.
From Dragon Ball Z, all the fucking like blisters you get from spinning the circles
I
round
broke
when
so
you
many
fuck-
controllers doing that.
Apparently that new Dragon Ball Z game is really similar to the old ones, to Budokai
I've heard
Tenkaichi.
a lot.
I have
I've heard a lot of hype
heard.
about
It does
it,
look.
actually.
It does look really good.
Yeah, there's the creator character though in that, and I don't think creator character really works well in fighting games because like there's obviously the set move sets. Dragon Ball Z is a bit different. That it's like pretty much everyone fights similar apart from the special moves. So it's not like making someone in Tekken, big PS2 game.
Big
Tekken
PS1
Tag was
game
the
as well.
first
Big PS1 game.
No, Tekken Tag was a release game.
Yeah.
Of
I
PS2.
remember playing
Tekken 5 was like the big Tekken one.
Well, I remember
thing
you guys used to go down to the arcade to play Tekken, didn't you? You had those cards, didn't
Oh
you?
yeah,
that
the
had
Vidojo.
Yeah.
Vidojo was well cool. That was on the pier. Now it's burnt.
They're
Wasn't it,
rebuilding.
was it not on the
No, it's
In
on
the
the pier.
arcade?
It burnt down.
Yeah, okay.
No, it
So-
burnt down.
That's it. You went to the other arcade to do Dance Mat, didn't you?
Yeah, and the Fast and the Furious.
And the Fast and Furious.
That must have spent like £1,000 on that stupid machine.
That was when we fucking had shitloads of money.
You should
just to
double tap
spend on
the
anything.
accelerator.
That's
and
it.
go,
You'd wheel the car like you could flip over other
Yeah.
cars.
I worked full time at Game Station and lived with my dad. Then barely paid rent. So I was just like, shit, we're gonna spend money on fucking whatever. Like,
Back in the day when money was like free.
Maybe
pretty much.
that or House of the Dead.
yeah.
Oh, I love the evolution of House of the Dead. It's like 1 and 2 is like, yeah, you got your pistols. Number 3, you got a
Shotguns.
shotgun. Number 4, you got a machine gun.
What the
a
fuck
submachine
was up with
gun.
that? You know, it should have been. They should have just done House of the Dead. That was just you had an arsenal of guns, like, and you just picked one up. But
like Time Crisis, you tap the pedal to change the guns. You'd
No,
be
I
like,
just mean
pistol,
you-
shotgun.
no, you
I hate
literally
Time
have the
Crisis.
guns. You literally have the guns in front of you.
That's what I'm
pick them
saying.
up,
Rather
like-
than having that, you have
Yeah.
that. I would have thought.
What was that?
With number 5, you don't even have a gun. You have a fucking like Wii remote that's designed like a knife. So they kind of.
What
It turns
was,
into Fruit Ninja.
what was that? There was that cool, like it was like Time Crisis, but it was one that you stood on a panel,
Well, Time Crisis had the
and
panel,
it was,
but it was also
no, it was
time.
like,
There
it was
was
like We Fit, and you lent.
Oh, I know
And,
the one you mean. Yeah,
fuck's sake.
I know the one you mean because it was like a Japanese-based game, and you were a Tokyo cop, weren't you? Fighting
Was
off
it?
the mafia. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that one.
and you were shooting, and you lent like side to side.
And it dodged for
And,
you. Yeah.
it was like it was
You hid behind a
it,
shield, didn't
It was
you?
basically the Wii Fit
Right.
mat, so it was like which way you put weight on it.
Because on
And
Time
you
Crisis they
move
had like
forward,
the paddle,
so-
didn't they?
Yeah,
So you
Time
pressed it
Crisis
and
was
it
you
hid.
go
Yeah.
undercover,
And that was the same as Virtua
come out.
Cop. Do you remember Virtua
Yeah.
Cop?
Yeah.
So you'd be like, and it was like, action, danger, hazard. Like if you're on some sort of
Fuck
conveyor
people
belt.
saying like Gears of War is the first one that had made like
Cover
cover
based.
shooters good. No, Time Crisis and Virtua Cop.
I remember all the cutscenes from Time Crisis 1 as well, because my mate had that on PS1, so we played it a lot. But I remember going to the arcade and you'd see the loop of the cinematic. And it'd be like, since you have travelled so very far, be my guest and let me entertain you. Some guy that throws knives, like the boss in it. I'd remember all these cutscenes.
Do you remember Silent Scope?
Yes, the sniper game.
That was amazing.
That was ported to PS2 as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But you just didn't get the same peripheral experience of holding a whole huge sniper rifle aiming at a screen.
What did you not? Oh, when I got it, they came round with an arcade machine and plugged my PS1
Where do you want your
into-
silent scope?
Yeah.
Just next to the coffee table. I'll entertain guests with it.
I'll entertain you.
Let me entertain you. And then the main bad guy, the main bad guy in the first one died off, and the lieutenant of the first one for Time Crisis became the main bad guy, who was called Wild Dog.
Oh shit!
Obviously.
Yes, it
Because
was.
in the cutscene he blew something
How
up,
do you
and
remember that?
it just came on the screen going Wild Dog. But the main bad guy of number one was like Sherelle Dugaru or something like that.
It's like really complicated. They were like, oh, let's make it easier for the second one.
Blonde hair. He had a ginger curtain style haircut. But I just remember he had you were trying to rescue the president's daughter. But I remember also the main character's name was Richard Miller. Like the most boring middle class white man name. It's like, you have to save the president's daughter. And they would
Richard Miller?
They would go through all these cutscene, like action montage, and they would just freeze frame on him, like, Richard Miller. And that's it. The president's name was like Rachel McPherson. You need to search it up. Please find out Time Crisis' main bad guy was,
So
I can know how to pronounce his name.
I'm looking at PS2 stuff. That,
All right.
do you remember the?
I'm gonna find this
do you
shit
remember the
out.
awesome little stand that you had for the PS2 when they used to give you stands for stuff?
like the Wii stand that you get.
Yeah, but it was like that blue purple thing. Do you remember that little
yeah.
triangle thing? That was
I
really
never
good.
had that.
I never stood
Yeah,
mine up
because I wasn't
because
stupid.
yeah.
because having it upright was
It was bad enough trouble with the next
Damaging,
gen, the
wasn't it?
360, trying to stand that
Yeah.
up without damaging anything.
Oh,
It wasn't good for the
360. Fucking like
Mate, the amount of
That
times I'd
machine
knocked
had,
my
like,
knocked
the
my 360
Doctor Who's
over and
laser
just
in
got
it.
laser burned.
that machine. I just imagine like fucking Doctor Evil lining shitloads of them up just to burn for things. It's insane how many lasers. Back in when I worked in game shops, just every person coming. Something's wrong with my disc. That has a huge fucking laser burn on it.
But you could, like, if you had it standing up though, if you ever needed to get to the back of it for whatever reason, you'd have to make sure it was turned off, because even like the slightest little angle would
the
burn
most
the disc.
stupid,
There
the
you
most
go.
stupid thing.
How do you pronounce that name? Sherelle Dugaru. Oh look, President McPherson. I'm getting all the fucking names right.
I didn't doubt you.
no, I doubted myself. It was, yeah. Rachel McPherson, Sherelle Dugaru, Richard Miller, and Wild Dog.
Just love that they were like, we're too complicated with the names in the first one. Wild Dog, there we go.
Yeah,
We need a bad guy name. Something like dog. Yeah, dog's good. What should we do? Wild Dog. Oh man.
what makes me laugh is if you remember Final Fantasy X, you know the is it Aaron, the mentor that you have in that?
I don't listen about.
You can't keep using that. He basically looks like the mirror spit of a Final Fantasy character. Like there's Wild Dog there with his cool John Lennon glasses.
Oh fuck yes, I remember that.
Wild Dog.
Why did he not have a real name? Was his first name Wild and his last name was
I
Dog?
think it was a code name, personally, or a nickname. I don't
Why
think
would
it-
they not call him his real name then?
because it shrouds him
I'm
in.
pretty sure when you leave,
shrouds
Maybe he was Richard Miller.
when you leave
It wasn't Sherelle Dugaru though.
when you leave the police force, I'm pretty sure they're not going to keep calling you your... Why would a lieutenant have a code name? Why do you need a code name?
Why am I
would
saying
you-
lieutenant?
I thought he was a lieutenant.
Or
you
Wild
said-
Dog.
Yeah.
Well, he's the second. He's the bad guy's like right hand man.
I thought you said he was a police lieutenant.
No, I just said no.
I thought
He's a bad guy.
No, I thought in number
He worked
one.
in a veterinarian.
I've just been bitten by a wild dog. That's got a good ring to it.
I thought you said he was the police lieutenant in the first one, and then became the bad guy in the second
No.
one.
He was the antagonist's right hand man in the first one, the main antagonist dies in the first one,
Okay, that
and
makes more-
he becomes the antagonist
That
in the
makes
subsequent
more sense,
games.
but I'm pretty sure.
Works in the police department in his spare time.
It's actually a mailroom clerk in his spare
I
time.
don't think the police force ever really give code names to people, though. This is
They
some
give
like media
code names are more
thing.
like nicknames, though.
Code names are
Like cue ball and 8 ball and
Cubal are fuck's sake, why did I say Cubal? Code names.
you're an idiot.
Code names are based on like the weird shit they do as well, like the the BTK killer.
That's not a code name. That's a
That's
that's a medium mass nickname.
That's what
The
it's called.
Skinner.
I think that-
I was gonna say if
Like-
it's a murderer, by the way, like Jack the Ripper kind of didn't give himself his own name. The press came up with the name Jack the
but
Ripper.
that's the same. That's the same stuff.
Well, that's how you get a nickname.
The police are not going to code name someone Wild Dog. Like,
He's not in the police.
no, but that's not. Oh, fuck you! I'm saying. The police
okay,
aren't. The police force that you're working for aren't going to call this
don't
guy.
work-
He was a
Five
sniffer dog.
Code names are given to people to protect identity.
Yeah, and you're
He
saying
was
it's-
in the witness protection. Is that what you're saying?
yes.
Code names are
No,
given.
I'm saying he's an Animorph from the old Animorph series, and he was a dog that turned into a man.
Wild Dog actually lives at Battersea Dogs Home,
The one that burnt down. Man, too soon.
next to Hindenburg's. Too soon for you as well, isn't it?
I don't know what the fuck we're talking about anymore.
PS2 games, apparently.
Wild dog. Fucking. I just don't see them calling this guy Wild Dog.
But they did. They did, and it sold, okay? It's better than Shirodugaro.
That's the guy's fucking name, surely, right? That makes sense.
But he was some ginger Caucasian guy.
So,
It sounds like a much
Mexican.
more foreign
what are
name.
you saying, racist?
I'm just saying it's a much more foreign name. It's like if
What's the
Maybe-
guy's name from Modern Family? DeGatto.
I don't know.
Manny
I don't know
DeGatto
what-
or something.
yeah, but that's because
Hip-hop.
he's Colombian.
Yeah. That's fine.
You're just mentioning people with odd names now.
It's similar.
Gabe Newell. That's a weird name. Gabe is quite a weird name.
Gabe.
I'm the one saying. I'm the one saying Shirogaru. Whatever the fuck was his actual name?
No,
He
I know
said
you-
saying his name was Wild Dog.
I know you were defending weird names. We're going to turn on you like you weren't. Like a wild dog.
Oh god.
Fine, that was why it's called Wild Dog. He didn't like his old boss's name,
And he turned on him like a wild dog.
and that's why the police called him that. He just stuck. It just stuck in the office.
Oh, the printer's jammed. Get wild dog in here. He knows how to fix it. Right, okay.
Other PS2 games. Fuck, I was looking at stuff.
Wild dog.
What other things came out? Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive.
No, the volleyball came on.
No,
Didn't
no,
it?
did you? No, I remember the volleyball being on Xbox. Did you ever play Dead or Alive 2?
Nah.
Because I had that
No, really?
on I had PlayStation Platinum version of that, and that was an amazing game. But I remember the voice acting or the translated voice acting being awfully funny, because I can't remember what the character was called, but I used to play as Ryo Hayabusa, and he was fighting this other sort of like jumped up young Street Fighter character, and I remember Ryo Hayabusa giving him some like talk like, "Oh, so you want to enter the tournament? No, it's not to be taken lightly. I don't think you're ready for this." And the other guy just turned around and went, "Keep your mouth shut!" and then both fly back out, and then it would go, "Get ready, go!" But it was just his voice acting. Ryan Hayabusa had this huge script of really coherent and grammatically
calm,
correct.
like-
Yeah, like, you're not ready for this. I don't think you commoners understand this. And he just goes, "Keep your mouth shut!" And then you fight. But that was a brilliant game, especially because you had like the destroyable backgrounds, like you could kick people through walls and join a new go to a new area. So I'd always play in the sparring mode, just kicking people through walls. Like, nope, go back. Want to do that again? Boom.
You know, another game that we hadn't thought about. This is one that I really don't associate with PS2 as well.
What?
It's Guitar Hero. That's how old.
It was on
That's
PS2,
how
wasn't
old
it?
Guitar Hero is. The first one and the second one was joint cross
Cross
generation.
I didn't even hear about Guitar Hero until at least number 3.
Yeah, I think 3 was like kind of
3
like
was
the
when
big
it kind of
one,
hit
yeah.
it big, wasn't it?
But 1 and 2 were fairly big.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like
Like, so I
the
remember-
big mainstream that Guitar Hero and Rock Band
A mate,
came to be.
I remember a mate bringing his controller either to college or school.
Trolley.
Like the controller saying like, yeah, I'm going to a mate's afterwards to play it, and he had this guitar with obviously the PS2
Yeah.
cable coming out. It was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is that? So that was a guitar you plug into your PS2. It was like, bollocks, no.
I am not having this.
No.
Shut your mouth!
You keep your mouth shut. I need to find that clip in a minute. Carry on.
Yeah, no, I got some PS2 games down there actually. What do I have? I'm just surprised that Spyro. What have we not mentioned? Spyro, Crash, Twin Sanity, Spyro, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. Who the fuck cares about that shit?
You ever play Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat, PS1, all about the Mortal Kombat. And then
Mortal Kombat was always.
most of the PS generation Mortal Kombat. So I played Mortal Kombat 4 and that on N64, and then I think it was Deadly Alliance on PS2 and Shaolin Monks.
I liked Deadly Alliance actually because you had the different fighting styles for each character, didn't you? You had two martial arts and then your weapon. And then I remember I always played as Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, so you had his classic fighting style, and then you had this sort of weird Mantis style, and then it was just like, nope, fuck it, Katana.
We don't need any of that.
I did enjoy that, but it was a weird mechanic because you had to learn 3 movesets.
But PS2 did kind of ruin Mortal Kombat, I think, in the end.
Because they 3D'd it up too much.
They put in they had the shit Mortal Kombats on it, like the trilogy of kind of poor ones. There was the that Shaolin Monks game. And then
I never played Shaolin.
Oh yeah, they
And
did,
then
try and make it.
and
They
then
tried
there
to
was-
bring it away from all the fighting and tried to
Yeah.
put more other gameplay
Yeah,
elements
and
into it. Mortal Kombat is literally it's a fighting game. That's all there is to it. All you can do with it, like they're doing with the latest one, is make it more brutal and more disgusting.
But there was
Which is what we want.
there was the 3 after the original trilogy, which was Deception, Deadly Alliance, and Armageddon. That just weren't as good as the first.
Oh, no,
3,
they weren't.
Really. Armageddon was okay. They were all okay. Deception was terrible. Actually, Deadly Alliance was okay. That was the one that had the first. You could switch the stances during the fights, which they're kind of bringing back in this one, but you can't switch stances during the fights. You have to pick.
You pick it out at the start, yeah.
Um,
What did you think
and
of
that
the
actually
last
modifies
one
your
that came out?
attributes.
Not the new one,
Really good.
but the Mortal Kombat 10 was it?
Really good, really
'Cause
good.
I really liked
really
that.
good, really good with the story. Story was amazing. It's really interesting that they didn't. There was the arcade mode that you could just play through as your character, but the story mode you didn't play as one character. So it kind of made sense. It actually told the story
Yeah.
because it was like you kept switching between characters, which was kind of hard because obviously you have to learn these characters. But
Did you ever
it helped and
buy
made sense.
and play Mortal Kombat versus DC? Because I bought that stupidly.
You know,
enough.
Joe was really into that.
The fatalities and that, didn't they?
They
So
did.
They didn't want their characters to look.
Be gutted.
Yeah. Joe,
it wasn't that great a game, to be honest. It was pretty awful.
Joe got really into that one.
He-
And what was it? The guy that was playing as Deathstroke against him was like, "Eat lead." Joe was playing
yeah,
someone
we got
online. Who Deathstroke, he's pretty much just Deadpool, but the actually original Deadpool. And
Well,
he
he's
just
Deadpool, but much more serious.
yeah,
and
he's a
awesome.
serious one, but he was also before Deadpool. Deadpool was a rip-off of him.
Yeah.
But he just had a gun and just shot a gun as one of his moves. And this guy was just playing Joe online and just kind of speaking over the headset, just going, "Eat lead," and just kept shooting the gun and going, "Eat lead, eat lead." Like he's the fucking game character himself, just like saying a quote each time.
Because if I played DC on that game, I always play as Deathstroke, because Deathstroke's awesome. And if not, I'd play Scorpion on the Mortal Kombat side. But no, Deathstroke actually has some pretty good
Death
movesets.
Note.
Deathstroke. Did I say
Light
Death
your
Note?
God, he's sitting in the corner just writing the guy's name down. What's your name? Oh, it's sweet.
Although you'd have to survive for the 40 seconds.
yeah. That's it. It's just how far you can avoid getting hit while you're trying to write a name. It's a little mini game where you actually have to control it and have to move the toggles around to write the name.
I'd be awful as that because I can't spell.
just quickly for PS2 games as well, because I'm gonna have to shoot soon. But
Sorry, we're about to end.
this is one of the title release games I got for it was Crazy Taxi.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the intro for that? It's like, hey, come on over, have some fun with Crazy Taxi. It's party time. Let's have some fun. I used to love Crazy Taxi.
No,
It's all about the cheats.
Yeah.
See, PS2 was amazing for cheats. Like, now they kind of phase out cheats with achievements and stuff. They're like, oh, we don't want people cheating so much
Yeah,
because
but
it
in
messes
all
up
due
achievements.
respect, it's because
But-
I have to say things like, because you want to take a game seriously, you don't use cheats. When you just want to fuck about, you're like, cheat the shit out of
This
it.
is it. Like back in the day, cheats weren't really to help you progress. They were more novelty. Weren't they?
Yeah. It was
Big
just-
head mode
it's
isn't
like
going to help you get to a game, is
yeah,
it?
while you're messing about. I was saying the other thing about you saying about Crazy Taxi was PS2 and the older ones also had much better start screens. One, I don't understand why screens are a thing. Why you still have to get this title card as you load up and it says press any button. Because now people they used to say press start and it's like, no, I don't want to press start, press circle. And it still loads it. Like, absolutely fine. It's like, why did it say press start? But they were much more exciting a lot back then. They had like stuff going on. Now it's just like this like occasionally moving scene that's just slowly moving if it's a dramatic game. Otherwise it's just some still thing. But back then it had stuff like hey,
It's like when I was down.
You were
there,
fucking
died,
exciting,
got
like-
to 70%, and it was like, yeah, ready to start, and I was like, yeah, great, and then I loaded it up, and it was like, yeah, you can look at the start menu.
yeah.
That's it though. That's what
Yeah.
we do. Like, roll the credits if you want. We've downloaded that.
Isn't the start menu nice?
Oh yeah, but that has the that's the other thing that fucking they sometimes have a cutscene that goes with the start menu. It just rolls on if you
Oh,
don't
yeah,
move
yeah,
it.
you
And
press
Dying
start.
Light has that.
Yeah.
Dying Light is
Or it's
almost
just like-
immediate as well.
I
'cause
know.
Usually you can leave it for about 5 minutes and then it will
Yeah,
run.
Dying Light's
It's
like,
like-
if you
I feel
press start in 5 seconds,
Start.
you must want to watch the intro again.
You must want to watch this entire fucking like 2-minute segment now. Like, that explains the whole backstory, which is nice. Thank you, because you're starting in a game that's 3 months into the zombie apocalypse. It's nice having that little bit of backstory there. But like fucking hell, man! Like give
I
me some
found that
time.
every time I
like
loaded
having
it
a
up-
drink. Like
Every time I load it up, I press start, and I'd be on the PC as well. So I press start and think, I'll get to that in a second. I'll just get the cutscene out of the way. Turn around just to close a web page or something, and turn back. It's like, oh look, the story's loaded up
Well, you
again.
just
No,
fucking- you
I have
fucking
to press
do
it
it.
twice on this game because otherwise it won't leave me alone.
you're fucking just like doing up your flies. And it's just like you must want to know what happened. It's like no. Fuck you.
In regards to cheats, I think it's because the gaming industry wants, well, not the industry so much, but people want you to, because achievements are a thing now. And although I do like
Yeah,
to
that-
get
well,
achievements,
that's the main thing,
especially if I
yeah.
really enjoy a game, I think, no, I really want to 100% this or try to. Achievements do take a lot of fun out of games if you only play for them, because half the point in old games
I
was,
don't really think there's many games out now that you could actually put cheats into though.
no, that's what I mean. It's something that you unlock at the end. It's like, would you like this mode on? Would you like this mode on? Do you want to change the filter on the camera so you can play in Instagram mode? No. You don't really.
Out in South Park and just play in black and white for no reason at all.
Yeah.
You
It's
get.
like, it's a cheat. I must have it on.
You don't really get much, do you, out of it? Whereas the old ones would be like, spawn yourself 99 guns of this kind with all the ammo to go with it.
So again, I think like the only game that would be possible on is GTA, and that's got cheats on it anyway, isn't it?
Do you remember the Die Hard trilogy on PS1? Did you ever have that?
Don't.
No.
You play each Die Hard film, and each one would be a different style. So the first one was like a top-down, third-person, get to the top of the building. You know how Die Hard goes. The second one was a first-person shooter, or like a rail shooter, at the airport and that sort of thing. And the third one was a driving-based one. But they were all really good, and I remember the cheats in that. Like the first one, where it was the top-down shooter, would have things like, "Oh, you want explosive shotgun shells?" So you just shoot someone, and everyone behind them would explode. It would be amazing. Where are you going? Don't go.
Still recording.
We have to wrap it up when you get back.
till we find it out.
I remember hearing that a lot. And obviously I'd play it as a kid, so I'd be like, that's really bad, because it should be something like get back or stay away. And then as I know, you think, don't come. Like, so it's like,
I've done it again.
yeah, like some pervert lurching towards you. You're like, don't come. Thank you for rescuing me. First aid. Life up.
That's how they do it in GTA.
It's the same as Resident Evil. It's like, here, take this key card, and just a flat hand, and then thank you. Before fingers were animated, it would just be a blocky hand. You're gonna need this if you're going alone. Thank you. Oh, Joe loves quoting Resident Evil 1 of that.
Joe, I love these lights. I'll never get some of these lights. They make it look like it's daytime in here.
I know, they're just like nice in a way, aren't they?
Yeah, if I do that, it
Yeah,
feels like it's about 3 o'clock.
Obviously,
Whereas if I look out the window,
Yeah, exactly. A natural light. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just walked up the stairs where like downstairs it's really orange and weird coloured, and then I came up and I was like, saw this coming out the door. I was like, oh, it looks really nice in here.
it's daytime. Should we go? Should we go? You ready?
It's always daytime for me.
I
Why?
do need to get back.
Why do you want 20 minutes?
Because I'm getting gym.
You can just hang out for 20 minutes afterwards. I'm not going to kick you out.
Okay, that's fine. We don't need you anymore.
I'll stick around for
Fuck you, Josh.
I'll stick around for 5 minutes after to go for a piss and wrap up. But you know, I do.
Gotta go.
Oh, I've got work in the morning. I've got some shit to do.
What time do you get there?
I go to bed at
What time is it
7 o'clock.
actually?
7 o'clock.
About 6 o'clock.
Bullshit. It's 6 o'clock.
It's,
Bullshit.
it's 5 o'clock.
Shit the bed at 7. 7 a dick.
You want to go and suck Jamie's dick. I know what you want to do.
Jamie's not around today. Otherwise I would.
Jamie's not around today, actually.
I've just got a jar of his come at home to taste.
I'll just schedule Jamie in for next week.
I think you'll find the missus isn't home tonight. No, I actually really want to get on with the Oddworld remake. Seeing as I'm going back to work tomorrow, I want to get some hours in, seeing as I've only got 20 minutes before I left the house to play it. You can understand that.
I can.
I can.
You want to get some Destiny in before you go to bed tonight, I assume? Maybe, but probably yes.
It depends. If Chris is playing Dying Light, I'll play that. So I've hardly got anywhere in Dying Light because I'm constantly waiting for him to play it.
Well, if they're playing Dying Light, we may as well go and join. Give them a hand. Just invade your game.
Not allowed.
Bad touch, no. Right.
I think if everyone's on, we should play Minecraft.
Yeah, I'm up for that later if everyone else is.
Yeah.
I've got a clue.
You got chlamydia.
You said I've got a clum.
That as well.
A clum. Did you ever watch them Drawn Together? No. You both need to watch Drawn Together.
Is there clumps in Drawn Together?
It was a parody of reality-based TV show like Big Brother, but all done with cartoon characters. It ran for a few series, but it was fucking brilliant. Used to watch it in college, and yeah, all the characters in it are like parodies of either TV characters or video game characters. For example, there's like Xandir, who's based off Link from The Legend of Zelda. There's Sockbat, Waldorf Sockbat, that's basically a rip-off of SpongeBob SquarePants. There's like a Betty Boop rip-off who's like really fat, anorexic and bulimic and self-harms. It's really good. And you got your standard stupid superhero that's basically like Superman but really thick and really jock-like. But no, get into it. Drawn Together. Really good. Right.
No, just going to the outro. Yes.
Welcome back and goodbye.
Dicks. So, thank you all for watching and listening to the Robot Punch Gaming Podcast. I am Carl, is awesome. Yeah, I did my thing then, again. You can follow, I am Carl Lipscomb, you can follow me on the interwebs at Carl is awesome. Find me on Twitter, Twitch, that's the other one, and YouTube. all under that same name. Carl is _awesome, and Carl is awesome. And also, I'm joined by Josh Crunden,
Josh is Crunden.
who you can follow at Josh's Crunden.
You can follow me on Twitter at Josh Crunden. Also, at some point I will be updating where you can get hold of me when I bring out my own channel for Let's Plays
The
and such
Tube
like that.
Views.
The what?
The Tube Views.
The Tube Views.
Yes.
The Tube of You. So yes.
I have many Let's Plays. You should watch mine. Ignore the other two. They don't count. They don't do any anyway, so yeah.
Not yet anyway.
My last week I did, I shall fill in my last
Who are
week
you?
before Alex gets the talk. I did Life is Strange, Dying Light, Only If, and
That really annoys me. That's not if only.
no, it's Only If.
Only for a chocolate
When I
biscuit.
when I saw you put it up first, I was like, Carl's put that backwards. And then I went down and I was like, oh, that's actually what it's called.
Yeah, it's Only If.
You're not going to let him
Yeah.
plug?
No, I'm just trying to waste time to not let him plug. No, that's it. I know. So yeah, and also I was joined by Alex Burt. Do you want to?
Such malice in your eyes there. Like, Alex, but you're like, I'm going to murder you.
And you don't? Do you have a Twitter that you don't use?
Maybe.
I mean, none of us really use our Twitters, but you really don't use yours.
Left hook, Bert, possibly.
You don't even. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't even know what yours is.
Is that because we don't all vocalise every thought that we have? That's why I don't use Twitter.
Yeah, but also Alex just doesn't know what his Twitter is.
Oh, this orange is really nice. I should upload this.
On Twitter, to be fair. I joined it so that I could add up game developers just to follow them on stuff. That
Yeah.
was pretty much what I used Twitter for. But if
Yeah.
you want to watch me watch someone else,
Yeah.
If you're one of those guys that likes to watch guys who like to watch.
Yes, so that's it. You can follow Robot Punch Gaming on Twitter at RBT Punch, and follow our YouTube and Twitch accounts that aggregates all the people who actually upload content. So that is Robot Punch Gaming on Twitch and YouTube, and robotpunchgaming.com. So thank you all for watching, and oh no, I have a quote. What was the quote? The quote is,
I don't listen to hip hop.
live in your world, play in ours.